episode 273 of the longest running episodic, whatever it is, we don't know. It's the year 2026. It's been since last year, since we last made fun of Eric. And this will not be allowed to stand. It won't. Because Eric, this year, last year, every year, I want you to remember, again, from the bottom of my heart, you suck and no one likes you.
This is not news.
No, it's not. But I got to remind Eric, it's been since last year.
I know.
Since last year, the people need reminders. Constant, total reminders. A lot of the rules still apply. Number one, Eric pays for all the likes. As a matter of fact, for 2026, Scott, tariffs on the likes. Double tariffs, triple tariffs, quadruple tariffs. All of it. To the moon. Fanatics wants to 10x the hobby. I'm 10xing the likes.
I don't think that's financially stable.
I think it's sustainable. I think you're fucking loaded.
Oh, okay.
I think you got your Mary Poppins box. We've seen what comes out of that Mary Poppins box.
No.
We've seen it. You made your very own tickle trunk. We know what's going on. Evening all, especially the Salva's attorney. This is Paul. See? Look at that. He even made up a fake hockey player that never existed just so that he could have a card of him. Scott, this man is fucking rich.
Yeah.
I think he collects more non-sport than I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's not
Josh
funny.
here. Oh, it's quite good. Just says it's Friday night. You know what that means? Because of Carlos's live. Yes, we did. We heard your pleas. We heard your cries that last Friday there was no live. So we are here on a Friday with a live. Now, fair warning. This will not be the standard length episode because number one, most of us are kind of tired, and number two, to be perfectly honest, we had a full length episode on New Year's Eve. Feel free to check it out. Like you got a full proper length episode on New Year's Eve. We even had Billy Cilio with internet.
That was big time.
Huge.
That was big time.
Huge.
How much longer did you guys last after I passed out?
It went about 5.5. So about 2:30, 3 in the morning.
I think I left at 1:30.
Yeah. So basically about another hour, give or take.
I was well into dreamland by that point. I was exhausted.
Double D, Dylan, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you too. Good evening, Keith. Double D, Eric, you suck. That's right. You know the score, Dylan. You get it.
Is that a new hashtag?
It's all about it. Phil Nico fan, Happy New Year to you. Jay Hawker, Happy New Year. Hodges, give video a like. Appreciate you. 4 minutes in showing cards. I know. New year, new us. Brandon, if you're good, give me a thumbs up.
Cards have been shown.
Mr. Brandon, it's been a whole year. Happy New Year. How are you?
Holy hell, I got to put up with Eric in 2026 too?
No.
No.
Listen, I'm leaving shortly. I'm here to beg for some more money, thank for those who gave some, and then I'm going to go watch the Winter Classic with Mom and Michelle. That's the plan. So
look at you. So let's set this up quickly, Eric.
We'll get through that section of the show. I'll beg, and then I'll leave.
Well, at least you're good at begging. So here's what we'll do. So just to give everybody an update on the New Year's Eve episode, Eric rode his bike like a moron. And by the way, Scott, we're not convinced he actually went anywhere. He said he went 50 miles, but he was in the same spot the whole time for hours. He didn't move a single move. Like we didn't see him leave. Like the background didn't change. He was literally in the same spot. He was just like this for 3 hours. And then occasionally like this.
Do you have the picture?
And then occasionally like this.
Please put up the picture of my bike computer, please. I would appreciate that if you would put up the picture.
Did you?
Of my bike
I was gonna say. I was like, is that on the main chat? Hold on, I got to take a look here. Let's see here. Hold on.
People need to know that it was really accomplished.
Are you one of the teachers now for that bicycling thing? Now that they have.
No, I don't.
Okay, with the running and everything that's on there, they got
the Peloton or something.
Yeah, the Peloton.
I have no interest in such things. No.
Says you, man. All right, so first I'll show Eric's, but before I do, we'll do a little screenshot. So first, Scott, I'm going to show a picture of my bicycle that I wasn't on during the live stream. So here's mine. So Eric, what did you do? When did yours come in? I just did that from sitting in the chair. It's very impressive. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So anyways, this is my bike computer from the other night. You'll see that I did hit 50.1 miles. I averaged 18.4 miles an hour.
I'm showing 5 hours and 0 miles, Eric. That's the picture I got.
Is that the one you got? Yeah.
Yeah.
AI's. I hate AI, by the way. It just gets me in nothing but trouble.
Listen, Eric, you show respect to robotic overlords, or they will not take mercy upon you.
So it took me 2 hours, 42 minutes, 55 seconds. I maxed out at 23 miles per hour at one point, but my average was 18. But the important part is the date, and you will see that the miles were accomplished.
Mm. Are you impressed, Scott? Did it change your life? Are you moved?
I did it in a car, and it was a lot easier and a lot less strenuous. And
yeah, what you're telling us, Eric, really what you're bragging about is inefficiency.
I averaged 70 miles an hour. So.
Well, if Eric had drank coffee like I was telling him, he would have finished that in like 20 minutes. He would have polished it off. Like it would have been done. It would have been done.
I don't like coffee. It's gross.
I don't need more like replacement or hip replacement. Or
I wore this for you, Eric.
Oh, really?
Hold on.
You know why I'm here?
Deviled eggs, man. Deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs. Oh, I'm not eating that crap either.
You don't eat anything. We've covered this. Paul here says, more unlikely, Paul with reliable Taco Bell internet or Billy with reliable internet anywhere. More unlikely. It's like, listen, we were all shocked and surprised. It was a Festivus miracle. Baz, Happy New Year. What's up? Carlisle, good evening. Big Scott and his guests. That's right. Paul here says, just so you know, Eric, Wake Forest and Mississippi State are currently playing in a bowl game, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. The winning coach gets doused in mayo, called Capitals.
No, that is completely disgusting, and that should be outlawed.
I think Zach has a point here. I think Miss Kathy was actually controlling the pedals, and Eric was pretending.
Yeah, she was sitting in a little stool just cranking the.
We could believe it. We've seen the photos of the tree trimming and you know the arborism. Is that what it is? She was an arborist.
Yeah, I gave her a chainsaw and put her to work. Yeah.
Well, like I said, Brandon, I showed this earlier. I gave a simulation of exactly what we saw with Eric. It was like, hold on.
Yeah.
And just keep that up.
Wade was cranking. She was rolling.
My legs during it, none of that didn't move, Scott. Like my legs didn't move a single bit. Like it's just, you gotta kind of just a little. It's good for the core work. You know, that's nice. But like outside of that, like I didn't. And by the way, I also didn't move an inch. Like I'm still in the same spot I was in before. It's crazy.
All right, we done making fun of me now? Oh, we still.
We are never done making fun of you. Literally at no time ever.
Interrupt. I don't want to interrupt.
All right. So here's what I want. So let me quickly go. I did connect this live stream to the fundraiser. So it is there. So if you're watching it on the YouTubes, either on your phone or on desktop or whatever, they're all there. It's still got the donate button. We set a little goal on our end of it, but then Eric also did receive donations directly to his PayPal. So Eric, do you want to give the total from the PayPal, and we'll kind of add it to what we've got here too?
So I just checked it just as we were going live, and we are at $322.86. I'm going to add another 100 to that. So that, of course, brings it up to $422. And then whatever we got through the YouTube charity.
Yeah, so I got that here. So we're right now at a little over 185. So that's what it sits at currently. So that's a total of 507.86. Don't worry, Eric, I did the maths.
Good.
So we're over 500 without Eric's contribution.
That's excellent.
That's very good. That's quite good.
I'm not looking for people to put themselves in debt here. It's a worthwhile charity. And the other night we set up the link so you could go into the Ray Bourque Family Foundation charity, and so you could check it out yourself if you had any questions. We donated to Ray last year. We have a photo of me handing Ray a check last year. I'll be doing that again this year with whatever we raise through PayPal. And they work with a lot of different charities in the community. So ALS being a huge one, you'll see it right there. At the very first one, Carlos just kind of it moved on its own, or Carlos dragged it, but
right now this is automatic, so it'll scroll through.
The very first one was ALS, but you'll see that all the different charities that they're associated with, and all the different things they try to support. I know Ray a little bit. He works with us at Sports World and comes in and works with us and signs for us and things. And I've had the pleasure of introducing him to Yannick and when Ray was up in Toronto a couple of years ago. So he is somebody that I know, I do business with. And you know, so it's a real, there's a connection there. So I'd like to, you know, work with him and his charity. And he became just real close. Again, bring this up. He worked very closely with Pete Frady's family, who passed away from ALS, you know, a couple of years ago. Pete and his family are the one that started the Ice Bucket Challenge that went global. That was from my hometown of Beverly, Massachusetts. So, you know, the Frady's family is kind of a big deal here on the North Shore and in this area. And the Bourque Family Foundation really got to know them well, and to this day still works with them. So, you know, it all comes around in a circle for me personally. So that's why I like to donate some money every year and send it off to Ray's charity. So any help you can give us would be great. $5, $50, $500, you know, whatever you have available. It's 100% of this is going to go to Ray's charity. No one else is getting their dirty paws on it. So anything you can do to help us out would be great.
And if that doesn't sell you, there's this.
There's that.
Eric, one question.
Okay.
Promise the viewers that this isn't for the IOU of all of the autographs that Ray has signed for you every year. Because you show a lot of Ray Bourque autographs.
Well, it's easy.
You probably got a big tab, right? I'm just joking. It's a good thing.
Having access to Ray means I get a lot of autographs. So yeah, there's a lot of Ray Bourque autographs in my possession. I have quite a few. Yeah.
Indeed. So I'm going to read a couple comments and then we'll get quickly caught up here. Good evening, Orlando. When it's 30-27, we'll consider it. Damn. 30-27. We're getting closer. Winter Classic game starting soon. Miami, Panthers and Rangers. Yes. Good evening, Ken. Philly Joe. Good evening. Jeff. Good evening. Happy New Year to everybody. So yes, so there you go. So you've given, like I said, there's a couple different spots there that you can participate if you want to. It's still open for about another day or so, both on the old live stream and on the new one. So if you're watching the replay, it's there. You can actually see the button. And then on the new one, it's available. Again, you can do it if you want, or you can contribute directly to the PayPal. And Eric is continuing to fight the large novelty check option, but I did show a picture of Ray Bourque receiving a large novelty check, handing one out. So clearly he can give them, but Eric claims he won't receive them, Scott. I sense a little bit of a question.
We've already established Eric in size.
Yeah, he probably thinks it's a normal size check that he was doing. And he's like, no, actually, this is a gigantic novelty check.
Maybe if you just squat and you give it to him, it looks bigger in the picture.
Indeed.
Maybe something.
Happy New Year, Illinois. Jeff, here's speaking of autographs. Marcelo's doing a signing here tomorrow. Excellent.
Oh, cool.
Excellent. Excellent.
I gotta say, 47 Collectors even had a big check to give to the Wounded Warrior, the autographs for soldiers.
Yeah. Well, it's nobody's told Eric that it's like, you do realize that this is basically an invitation for him to do arts and crafts time. You do realize that you don't actually have to. You don't. The novelty check isn't cashable. You just have it for the picture, and then you can give him a normal size check. That's gonna go. Now, real quick, I do want to say something. Someone just donated 500 Canadian to Bourque. So, Eric, go ahead, make a conversion joke. I dare you. For charity, I dare you to do it.
I'm not going to say anything about anything. If I assume you wouldn't joke about that, and if that
I'm not. It's in the chat right now. I can see it.
I very, very much appreciate that.
Yeah. So I'll give you the updated total right now.
Okay.
The updated total right now is that right now the amount raised from the YouTubes. And this is converted to US because on here we see USD. Okay. It's now $549.69 just on the YouTubes alone. Plus Eric's PayPal. Plus it's $1,000. He says 100, but he actually owes 1,000 because he lost the wager.
I am adding $100.
See, Scott, he was being a big shot. He goes, I dare you to find me one video of somebody not talking about Geoff. It's like, well, I gave you a couple, actually. That was really easy to do. Thanks.
I have to go back and do the research and watch all of it last year to make sure that's accurate.
Sports Cards Anonymous.
Oh, was it Dakota?
He didn't mention Jeff in his video.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's got one video and it didn't mention him. So there you go. There's another one.
There, boom.
I'm donating $100.
Wow. Just wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Carlos says, I intend to send a big novelty check, but can't find an envelope for it. This is a serious problem. It's a real issue. Yeah, signing. He's not going to sing. Yeah, no, we got you. With the autographs part, tipped us off, Jeff. Thank you.
No, that,
Rick Vintage on Ballcards. Good evening to you. I'm still having nightmares seeing Big Scott's baby picture. Please, never again.
Hey,
Happy
Jeff,
New Year.
tell my newly good friend, Marcel.
Yes, Marcel.
Just tell him the man with the beard at the expo. He'll know who you're talking about.
Oh,
Tell
no,
him I
yeah,
said
that's right.
hello.
yeah, he will. He sure will. He did like your beard. I can't lie. He did like your beard. He said that.
These are facts.
I
These are
questioned
facts.
him after. I'm like, are you sure? But he said it.
Yep. So by the way, again, thank you to the donator. It is listed as anonymous. You don't have to out yourself. You're more than if you would like to reach out to myself or Eric and just let us know so we can thank you directly. It is really appreciated. It's very good. It is a charity thing. Scott, once a year we try to do a nice thing. Once a year.
I see.
Just one time.
I have a question for you hockey guys that know way more than I do.
Go for it.
So they are doing the thing tonight in Florida, right?
Yes, it should have started a little while ago.
Right. So my question is I've seen humidity just wreck ice rinks indoors.
Mm-hmm.
So my Florida is always humid. How does this work?
I'm not there, obviously, but I would say the humidity in wintertime is probably non-existent. It's just a little.
Well, that's not true. Humidity is a thing. You can have a dry cold versus a wet cold. That is a thing.
I've been to Florida when the humidity has been high, and it will knock you on your ass.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is January.
So in Richmond, the Coliseum there, they used to, one of the reasons why they had to close it down is they couldn't control the humidity well enough. They put the rink down and then put the basketball floor over it, and then the basketball floor just be like a nice skating rink, all the moisture, and then the rink was horrible. It was sloppy when they were playing ice hockey. So that kind of ended the Coliseum. But that's why I was just wondering, like, if everyone had. I kind of interested to watch to see if the speed was there and all that, because I know a soft rink will slow them down. So that's what I was wondering.
The players are reporting that the ice is really good.
Okay.
Because
I think we've got a little update on there. So quickly, I'll read. Ham says it's cold there, which means it's basically a t-shirt weather.
Right.
Thank you, Florida man. We appreciate your updates on the
I had
round.
to wear long shorts today.
Yeah, he's got oh my god, long sleeve shirt today. Damn. Ken says doing a nice thing on the second, so you can check it out for 2026. Don't ruin this for me, kid. It works. The system works. Brendan, he's trying to ruin the system. It was beautiful. It was working so well. 61. Yeah, that's warm.
yeah, but we're talking about humidity. But 61 is pretty warm for ice.
Yeah, for ice, yes. Bazir says using 2 coolant trucks at Marlins baseball stadium tonight, double the norm. There you go. Yeah, 61 there too. It's been cold this week, so we got a little lucky. Look at you. My knees were freezing when the sun went down. I bet him. Damn, the suffering you've endured. Also, quick update. Zach donated $20. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you.
Thank you
So
very much.
We'll tack that on there. So that's $5.69. Nice. Just saying.
Yeah,
That is the amount raised, Scott, to the penny. What do you want from it?
Now nobody's gonna donate because they want the number to stay. Bunch of bastards.
I fell out of a tree when it got down to 40 degrees at night. It was bad, man. You know what happens is the second it reaches freezing temperature, Scott, you see the end of The Shining with Jack Nicholson? That's Ham. Basically, as soon as the temperature reaches 32 degrees, just 32 on the dot, like bang on 32, he's at the end of The Shining.
I could see that. Well, while the Canadians and myself and the Northerners up here, we're out 32 degrees, we're out shoveling in shorts.
Well, I never will do anything in wintertime in shorts because I'm morally opposed. However, that said, especially once we get into this time of year now, where it's just cold. If you put 32 degrees right now, Scott, I could basically just pop outside, and I'm from Panama, born in July. I like it hot. But even then, I will be like, yeah, I'll just wear my sweater. I'll just pop outside and do whatever I need to. Because at that point, you're so acclimated to it that it's like, no, give me freezing, and it's warm. Bass says Phil Bourque Family Foundation, the real Bourque.
Not funny. Not funny. Not funny.
Wow.
Phil Bourque, that filthy penguin.
Wow. Amanda says, I like the second 60 being cold.
No.
This was the California
Oh,
contingent.
you should have. Okay. November. We're all up in at the expo. Found out Amanda had never seen snow before. And we're coming out of the hotel and going through the parking lot during a goddamn blizzard. And I have to clean the car off. And her hair's getting all wet and everything. It's freezing freaking cold. You would think she'd be all upset. No, she was at a winter wonderland. I've never seen snow before. This is amazing. I'm like, I'm from freaking New England. This sucks.
I'm with you on that.
I should, but seeing this adult woman like a little kid, I've never seen snow before. This is amazing. Funniest damn thing I saw all year.
Wow. Crazy. I don't know, Scott. He's trying to ruin the spirit of Christmas, even during not Christmas time. You know what was the funniest thing I saw here, Scott? And it is a new year. And by the way, this was given to me a while ago. We never got a chance to use it. But why not? January the 2nd.
Here we go.
So here's Eric in his glory.
No,
This is basically this, Scott, is actually what he's going to do as soon as he gets off of here. He's claiming about the whole Winter Classic thing. No, he's got himself, ladies to feed him the mayonnaise, and he's just going to chill in his regal couch.
I like mayonnaise, but that's over the top.
Hey, listen, it's Eric. He can't be normal. There's no opportunity.
That's definitely my shirt and my specialized hat. I don't know I don't even know where that even came from. You guys.
Oh, Eric, I've got people. Have I not mentioned I have people?
I know you have people. Oh my God.
And the people think of you, Eric. The people think of you.
That's like a real picture of me somehow. That's my shirt and hat.
I'm just, Eric, maybe the call is coming from inside the house. Maybe they have connections. The call is coming from inside the house.
Both of them will betray me in a heartbeat.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no question.
Don't fight it, man. Don't fight it.
There's no question.
Yep. -10 and lower is heavy sweatshirt weather. -9 to +9 is regular sweatshirt. +10 and plus is barely worth putting on anything. So this is the Wisconsin contingent chiming in. Amanda, Carlos, take away some of Carlos's AI apps. Listen, I have nothing to do with that one. I already said, Amanda, you got to use your listening skills. I said I have people. I didn't create it. I just have it, and we're sharing it. Take that. Yep. And Rick, Vintage Odd Ballcards, donated $20. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate you.
Oh, thank you very much.
There you go. So we've pumped it up. Pretty good, Scott. Pretty good. And I think I'm trying to see if I didn't miss something by accident because I'm looking. Oh, Junk Wax also chipped in as well.
What are we
so
at?
Right now we're at $596.97. Crushed it, people. Good job.
I only wanted to break 400 this year, and we're well past that.
Yes, yes.
We're getting close to $1,000 here.
AE is frightening. Artificial Eric. That's right. Pretty sure that image was generated by AU. I donate to Eric's PayPal, so Ham, as Florida man, has contributed towards your PayPal cause, Eric, so that'll chip in as well. But let's talk about a couple of things here. So, good news. I did actually, so I don't know if Rob will be here tonight, but obviously Rob and Eric. So, Eric, does that count, by the way, the arrangement that you have for the jersey, or is that separate? Your total.
Let me see here. Let me see activity.
Yeah, you take a look and you let me know. But in the meantime, while I'm figuring that out, so that's good. And then I actually did receive a piece of mail from Rob. So today I did get some mail. So I was able to get an envelope from Rob.
I don't have anything from him.
All right. So maybe there you go. That might be on top of it. So that's pretty good. So right there, I've got that. So if Rob does appear later on, I can share it. But I did get a piece of mail and I was talking about it and it actually did arrive. So we got this one. This is the first piece of mail for 2026.
So, all right, cool. All right, so this might be him here. I'll have to talk to you up.
Yeah, we can confirm it. That's fine. But yeah, either way, it's gone pretty well, I would say.
Okay,
That's right.
So
So very good. I like the leaf pearl. So it is unlicensed, but they did a good job. You got the dual patch there, and you got Medano and Pierre Turgeon, and this one's the out of 3 version of it. Now they make way too many of these parallels and such, but I do like the patches on this one. It's good. So yeah, so this one came in directly. So there's another one for the leaf box. We got way too much of these, all in the one touches and such. But there you go, first official addition to the Medano PC in 2026. My good. Wait a minute, I thought Santa Claus went back to the North Pole. Damn.
Nope.
All right. Right now, including my 100, we are at $1,054.83. This is incredible. I am like, I wanted $400. Guys, thank you so much. This is absolutely incredible. I'm really proud of everyone in the chat. I thank, Carlos for letting me do this on the show and beg for money and the effort he put in doing the research for the YouTube stuff. And yeah, I don't want to get emotional, but I really appreciate it. Donating to charity, I think, is an important thing to do. And the fact that we can do, through all the silliness that we do throughout the year, to raise over $1,000 for a charity, I think that's just friggin' incredible. So, and it's all because of the people in the chat, and I just want to, I can't thank people enough. This is just amazing. But let's not stop. If you got $5 extra, please.
Oh, we didn't stop. We got a big Scott 35 $50 donation. Thanks, Scott. And he did it from the top of the screen. That's impressive.
Thank you.
Kobe.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you can tack that on there. That has been added to the total. So I do actually have a tab. There is like a giving tab, and you can keep refreshing it as it goes. So that's how I can see the totals add up. And then, of course,
that was actually money that Eric gave me for my like button.
Amazing.
Oh.
Amazing. Sharing is caring, Scott. Sharing is caring. That's all that matters.
All right. So just so I'm clear, I got right at the moment we got $357.86 in PayPal, and you have how much on the screen?
$646.97.
$646.97.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I wanted to put in the blues, but it wouldn't let me.
Plus my
that would have been amazing.
Yeah, this is incredible, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah. One thing I'll say, Scott, is that it is nice. It translates it automatically. So regardless of currency, it standardizes it so that you can see it. But regardless, we appreciate it. It doesn't matter. Whatever currency is fine. It adds to the total. So it's all good either way. It all contributes, and it all chipped in towards it. So it's good. Very good stuff there. So let me touch on a couple of things there. So Eric, you're welcome to hang out as long as you like. That's been very successful. We've had a good start to it, but then we'll hang out for a bit. And then, like I said, chat, we're happy to talk about whatever you like. I wanted to share the one card. And like I said, if Rob does come, I'll share those items because there's some fun stuff in there if they're around, so I can do that. Either way, I'll make a video on it. So we'll have that.
I pulled this the other day.
That's actually a really tough pull. I don't know if you've actually looked at what those go for. That actually is a really tough pull.
Yeah, I did look to see what it is. So I'm shaking a little bit. What the last one sold for, that actual card. And what one's up for sale for right now. So,
yep, because the liquid gold liquid gold Crosby. So the liquid gold was, I remember they did it like it's a multi-case hit.
Yeah, it's a 19. It went for 1900, and there's one for sale for 1900.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because it's such a difficult pull. Because that was from Metal Universe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see if I can find it here.
Yeah, which I was kind of. This case, I'm still opening from that I got over the summer. Quite a few PMGs, quite a few autos. So they really loaded it, comparably from what I've heard in years past. So.
Well, that was one of the things I've talked to with Billy in the past about it. Some of the sets, they try to add some more stuff in order to do it, but a lot of people haven't really caught on to the inserts. So if it's not an autograph and it's not memorabilia, some folks really don't seem to see the value in it. So I've got it in front of me here. The liquid gold is 1 in 960 packs, but then you've got everybody on the checklist. So now if you want a specific person,
right,
you're starting off at almost 1 in 1,000 packs just to begin with, and then you take the full checklist and go, okay, so you want to pull a specific person there? This is how much it's going to run you. And they got 25 cards in it. So real quick, don't worry, Eric. I know you're not about the maths.
I don't like the math.
Yeah, but we'll give you some shorthand. So to pull a specific person is 1 in 24,000 packs. So the bigger the name, and there's some good names in there. So Crosby is in the top end of the names, I would say.
Right.
So it's a good pull. I'd struggle to find. I don't know how many big pulls you've had, Scott. I would consider that to be really strong. 1 in 24,000 pack.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest card I've probably ever pulled. I mean, I've got a 1-on-1 Ichiro I pulled. You know, some low numbers, but that one's probably pretty. I didn't know, of course, at the time when I pulled it. I just looked it up for funsies, and then I started shaking after that. And it's so flimsy.
It's designed to be very flexible. It's like a kind of a plastic is what it's designed out of. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So, and I'm scared to put it in a one touch because if you put it not exactly in it, I'm scared to pinch it. So
okay.
I put it in a top loader for right now. So I don't know what I want to do with it yet.
All right. Well, you got decisions to make. Paul, good evening, all, and Eric. Good evening, Paul.
All right.
Perfect.
Listen, I'm 4 minutes past what I promised, but I think both Mom and Michelle will forgive me when I give them this new total. I want to thank everybody again before I go, but I'm not dumb enough to not beg for more. So please, if you have a couple of extra bucks this new year, this holiday season, we'd love to, take it from you and move it on to the Bourque Family Foundation. But for all those who have donated, whether it's $5 or the generous 500, thank you so much. It is truly appreciated. I know we're ridiculous and funny and wise asses and mostly insincere every day, but for this, I couldn't be more sincere and thankful. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you guys on the screen. I appreciate our friends that join us that aren't here on the screen with us right now. I'm blown away. I wanted $400. That was a lofty goal, and we're at 1,104. So I'm absolutely blown away. Very, very appreciative. Please give more if you can. That's all. I guess that's all I could ask. It is for charity, but I appreciate everything, and I'll leave it like that. Carlos, please beg for more in my absence. And thank you for everything you've done in supporting this. So,
all right. Well, then before you go, Eric, we're going to finish on two things. So first, good job to the people. And second, Florida Man sends you off.
I'm in too good of a mood. I don't care.
All right. Be gone.
Bye, guys. Thank you again, everybody.
All right. See you, Eric.
All right. Keep donating. Love you. Bye.
Yep. Sounds good. All right, so there you go. So it is still open if you folks would like. Otherwise, feel free. You can let me know if you've got any requests. Eric, it'll hurt me, as a man of peace. It will hurt me. But I am willing to torture Eric in a variety of different ways. I can just come up with a whole bunch of horrible, like this is a new year, new us. Like I'm willing to be very creative in the levels of torture. And his family is on board. And pretty much everyone that Eric knows in life will betray him at the drop of a hat. So I'm just saying, we have our own personal guinea pig.
I'm saying the next time a cold front comes through that part of New England, polar plunge for this amount of money. That's what I'm saying.
We got so many options, Scott. So many options.
He's that close to the water. Polar plunge.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's all good. But yes. So we had to take a little time to set all that up. But thank you all for joining. Again, feel free in the chat if there's some stuff you would like to talk about. We did have a good New Year's Eve live stream. Had a lot of fun with that. It was a good time. It's become a little tradition thing going on now 5 years on, which is really good. And then the Christmas Eve is also 5 years on, so we had some fun. But then with the New Year, we got a lot of things going on. I'd like to say there's a bunch of changes. There's some. Scott is retired from the weekly. Not quite episodic, but weekly, live streams on there. But there'll still be live streams here and there where I was on there with we sent it off on a good one, Scott. We got the supersize Big Scott live.
And the best AI I've done so far. That was the best picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
scarred many a brains, and I love it.
Yes, sounds good. So here Ham says, Geoff stated that Topps will be releasing cards in the NFL class of the current season. Is flagship ready to roll? Or does just drop a high-end product? I'm pretty sure that, like, obviously we're not into the Fanatics Overlords, secret lair, but I would feel like they would probably want to do something similar to what they did with basketball. You kind of kick it off with flagship just to get, lay the groundwork. Because imagine if you go high. Remember, Fanatics high end is really expensive. So you basically want to and by the way, Topps flagship for basketball was a little high compared to kind of flagship of years past. So it's already higher. So before you go, you don't go all the way to the deep end right away. Maybe give them a little taste. By the way, you're going to notice these prices are going up compared to normal.
Also, what I've noticed too is you have a lot of people that came into the hobby after Topps had their last release, right? So they got to introduce that group of people back to Topps doing this football. So having a high end at first might not be the way to do that, to get it into people's hands. I think they're going to have to come out with a lower product to get it to people. Even though old people know what Topps is about, but a lot of people that do football and basketball, they only know Panini the last 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, that's kind of what laid the groundwork, though. And it's funny because a couple of folks were arguing with me on this, but they forget that flagship doesn't have to be one specific thing. Flagship can be a variety of different. For traditionally, when we think of flagship, we're thinking of like Topps. Topps is like a flagship product, but for Panini, they established Prism as a flagship. Well, Prism is more expensive than Topps was. So automatically now you've kind of bumped up the price point. So people that are used to football or, basketball as Prism as the flagship, well, that's more expensive than Topps paper was. And we're like, oh, because it's chrome. It's like, God, it doesn't matter. The chrome or paper is not the point of flagship. But the point of flagship is it's kind of the more ubiquitous brand. And then there are higher level brands above it. But Prism was more expensive than Topps paper ever was. Well, now Topps paper has crept up. Not exactly to keep up because it's not dollar for dollar the same because they do have Topps Chrome, but they have crept it up. It is higher than old Topps paper was.
And to that point, Prism was what I hate to say new, but the newer people that came in right before COVID, because the question was always what is the flagship for those sports, and the new people kind of declared Prism because that's what they wanted. So that's a very good point that you're making.
I think it'll be interesting with Topps breaking into both of the basketball and NFL markets again. Will we get the complete sets? Because I always felt like one reason that paper was, conditioned as the flagship product is because if you didn't want to open the packs, you could go out and buy the complete set. So we haven't seen that yet, at least with the basketball product. So I don't know if they're going to go that route, but they should.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where an opportunity where you can have your cake and eat it too. I do think Topps paper is going to be more expensive going forward than it ever was, but you can still print a crap ton of it because you can still have the retail SKUs. You could have the complete sets and all that. And you just need to put enough, chases. But again, you're spreading it out over a bigger print run. So the chase is it's like that liquid gold example that you had there, Scott. It's a great card, but already by having it one in almost 1,000 packs, you're not going to get one all the time. You could open a case and not get one. Like that's basically within the realm of possibility. But people still have to get used to the idea of it, like not when we show a lot of these, like the MLB debut patches and all that. People see an MLB debut patch, they see a 1 of 1, they see the autograph auto, and they see the Paul Skeen and all these big sales. They can automatically do it. With something like that insert, a lot of people don't realize immediately. They're like, okay, this is kind of an interesting looking card. Sure, that's cool. But then after somebody say that's almost 1 in 1,000 packs, man. Those are actually really hard to pull.
Yeah.
So I did my video and I shared the player that I've been buying in baseball. And if you are a baseball fan, new products, and you haven't figured this out yet, with the release of Chrome right, like very shortly after the paper update. Update paper has pretty much seemed like it has stopped being opened because now the chase is for the MLB debut patches, and so people are busting Chrome like crazy. But there's so many freaking parallels now that I'm constantly seeing mislabeled eBay listings. Like, to be honest, there's a true orange listed right now auto that's listed as a wave. Obviously, the true orange is more than the wave. Somebody sold a black wave refractor out of 10 yesterday, I believe it was, for like $50 when they could have probably gotten 200 for it. So, like, with the amount of parallels, it's confusing the hell out of people. And the prices, like, everybody wants to go to comps, but the comps are being thrown around so much because people don't know what the hell they have. They're just buying this stuff and they don't know what it is. So then they don't know what to price it at. So we're seeing such fluctuating numbers. There is no set comp on these cards. And what I did, honestly, on the paper stuff, I laid out a game plan of which parallels I wanted to target. And as soon as they popped up, if they were within a reasonable number that I felt comfortable with, I was buying them because I knew like they're just not showing up. So that's the way I've approached it.
And to be honest, the guy that you're targeting right now, not on a lot of people's radars, so they might not be putting them up as fast as they are. Like, I don't know, because there's 8,000 rookies in this update product.
Oh yeah, and the Nationals alone have a lot.
The A's, I think I counted, they had 14 rookies in the update product. So, unless you really know in the know, it's tough. There's 3 names, that people are looking for most. But
for Chrome update, and I shared this in the Discord, I really think the true white non-auto refractor is a good one to chase because they didn't do any variants of it.
Okay.
And then the true black auto is a good one because it's only in hobby products like the waves are, but they didn't do waves and ray waves and all that. They only did the true black refractor for the autos. So there's only 10 of them. Whereas like orange, you got 4 or 5 different parallels. Red, you got 4 or 5 different. So when you're really looking at the color number or the color parallel and then how many of them each there's listed, the white is out of 30. Well, you can look at, out of 25 orange and there's like 125 different ones because of the different patterns and stuff on them. So I just thought it was, interesting to look at how they allocated some of this and how some of the parallels don't have all the variations and they're hard as hell to hit. So I bet when they pop up, I've been going after them. So
yeah, I think it becomes a bigger issue now for like the player collectors and those folks because they're the ones that care about that minutia. For the average person, it's like whatever. Like you can, sequence them. You can have some weird mixed up. Okay, these are only available in this type of product because we have a lot of that retail exclusives. Like, oh, this one's only available in Walmart blasters. This one's only available in Target blasters, and that's the distinction. Where you get
they did a lot of that, especially in the paper. They basically did all of the colored foils. There is a hobby version, there is a retail version, and then there's a hanger version. So you have at least 3 versions of every colored foil. So, and it gets tricky. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, when I'm listing, I'm always confused between the shimmer, sand glitter, hollow, the new foil they got.
Yep.
It's very, and everybody else is confused too. When you go on eBay, I think anybody's just throwing up what the first thing they think it is.
Yeah.
Even by taking a picture of it and letting eBay tell you what it is, it's good luck. You better know what
so this is something like, because he's not here will be nice. I had Billy on for the New Year's, and we always give Billy a hard time because frankly it's Billy and we have to give him a hard time. But one piece of feedback, because I know for a fact people gave them this feedback and they have slowly incorporated and taken it to heart. They've gotten much better in recent years, especially for stuff like O-Pee-Chee Platinum. They label the parallel on the back of the card.
Yeah.
So they give you that piece of information. So like, hey, Scott, you don't have to worry about what the pattern is. Go to the back of the card. The answer is actually right there. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I've been listing a bunch of AEW metal, and plus the hockey metal. They have it. They're all listed on the back. I love that. I don't know why Topps doesn't do that. They tell you
Topps doesn't even put refractor on it anymore.
What is
it? It just says chrome. And this is the white refractor.
Oh, but if it was the refractor.
Yeah, the point is they're inconsistent. It would be nice if you just label them all, because honestly, just put a little thing on there and just give it a label.
They do on the paper.
Yep.
I tell you, Series 1, Series 2, Costco exclusive or flagship. They've gotten better with that, but they don't go far enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like a small thing, but honestly, it's really helpful, because then, like, rather than try to figure it out, like, just give me that information so that I can look at the back of it and go, okay, so that's the one we're talking about, and then everybody's got that info. So we don't have to guess. You don't need a specialty. You just need to be able to read. As long as you can read, the answer's there. Real quick, I'll read a couple of comments here. Basil saying U.S. is out of the World Junior with no medals, lost 4-3 in OT to Finland. So Brad did shoot me a message related to that. So, and his follow up was, "Suck it, Eric." So there you go. We got that going on. So real quick, Zach says, question, do you watch Pac-Man? Does it just get a lot of sponsors? He spends so much money on product and gives away. He definitely has a lot of sponsors. He 100% does. I've watched a little bit. I've seen a couple of his breaks. It does get repetitive for me. But yeah, he's totally got a ton of sponsors. He doesn't open that much product. He makes good money from the views and stuff. Like, what's that?
I said Whatnot probably pays him a lot.
Oh, yes, absolutely. They cut a big ass check. So, but he's also got other sponsors on top of that. So, and I'm sure he gets, basically review product and stuff. So the automatically that, and he does get a lot of views. So I'm sure he does well with the AdSense.
How many subscribers does he have? He's got to be one.
He's got comfortably over 100,000.
That's what I was going to say. He's probably making good ad revenue off of YouTube and then sponsorship. So
yeah. Oh, even almost 380,000.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
He's almost into like normal YouTube, where almost.
Yeah. So you just imagine, like, I'm just looking at the last couple of videos. So like 53,000 views, 48,000 views, 32, 29, 48, 23.
I don't know. Geoff has 380,000.
For Sports Card Investor, they're over 4.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yep. So they're basically neck and neck, though. They're in this space. They're the two biggest subscriber count. How they got there, I don't care. We can have a conversation about that another day. The point is, in terms of a sheer, if I put the two numbers beside each other right now, Sports Card Investor's 418, Pac-Man's 379. Either way, it's a crap ton of subscribers.
Pac-Man's been around for a long time.
Absolutely, yeah. But he 100% gets sponsors, Zach. 100%.
Yeah.
It's like Ryan, card collector too. I still remember him when he was in his little basement cubby hole, didn't have a card shop or nothing, like just started up small in this little space. So they've been around. Some of them been around a while.
Yep. Ham says, I've gotten annoyed with the Facebook pages with posts asking how much something is worth. You should get with Paul. Paul actually has like literally an image. He actually gives it to the Sports Card Nonsense folks, and it literally says instructions, and one of them is ebay.com. So instead of responding, he just posts the picture.
Somebody keeps posting on there. Somebody do you not know how to use Google? I look at it. I'm probably 4 or 5 posts a day. I get angry and then I laugh because I understand that not everybody has all the info, but come on. I think a lot of that's just trolling. It has to be.
No, a lot of it is people don't even want to try to look it up. They pretend like, I can't find, like in the AEW Facebook page that I'm on, it's a smaller group. So for the most part, everybody's a little bit more vetted. So there are a lot, but there's folks on there that are like, I can't find a comp for this. It's like, well, you're not looking hard enough. Here's 5 of them. Like they're not, it's not that hard, but you're not looking that up. You're not even trying. I know you're not trying, or you're not trying very hard because it's not that hard to find them. Panini NFL and Mackin and Prism are supposed to drop on the 7th and 9th. Should slow down the Chrome rip. The Marvel stuff is doing very well. We'll see. Yeah, should be interesting. So to answer Dan's question, so Eric joined us maybe for about the first half an hour or so. He did promise to spend some time with the family since we had the New Year one, the longer one. Although we did get some pretty good donations for it. We comfortably beat the little mini goal that we set, and then Eric got some direct donations to him as well. So yeah, we did very well. I think we cleared 1,000 for that
Eric.
for the charity.
I'm just going to play a triangle if Carlos gets into Hall of Fame. I won't do it. I'm just going to do a triangle.
Amazing. We love the passion.
And I got the Expo staff for Yannick. That's
beautiful. We got it. Pac-Man gets free product here. Yes. All right, so Aki99 says, Carlos switching up the panel, Jay Lee and Professor style. Those children, they're following me. Please. I was doing it before it was cool. Eric had to leave and Bobby's taking a nap. Maybe. Pac-Man might have had a lot of subs, but he's not a Hall of Famer. That is true. He also doesn't care. He wants money. He doesn't want a patch.
I put him on my list one year for the fact that he's been around and he has a lot of subs and does all this stuff. He's been around a long time.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, if anybody actually, I joked about this a million times, but it's true. If any of those bigger channels, the problem is most of their followers don't have channels. So, but even if they had a decent amount, like if they actually went and mobilized those folks and they have enough, they could stuff the ballot box and they would crush the regular channels. Crush.
It's no rule on how long you've been a channel.
For the vote, it's a year.
Oh, I thought
it was
a year. I think it was anything.
No, otherwise you could triple stuff the ballot. But no, it has to be a year. At least that was the rule. It was a year to be eligible to vote. Go ahead, Brandon.
This is an interesting comparison that I think a lot of people would probably understand. Pac-Man is noted amongst like the basketball, football. He doesn't do a ton of baseball.
Yeah.
But Pac-Man is the Ziri of hockey. Or what
Ziri is the Pac-Man of hockey.
Yeah. And you don't hear a ton about him, but he's got a large audience. He gets a lot of views, and he's been around forever. But he stays in that hockey niche. But they essentially do the same thing. They open product, review them, mail days, that kind of stuff. So it just made me think of it with that discussion because, Ziri's been around a long time. He's got a big following, and that's basically all he does. And he's got sponsors too. So.
Well, one thing I would say, though, with Ziri, and this is one that I kind of surprise people with from time to time. Comparatively, he actually over-indexes for the niche that he's in. Because, Scott, we think about the hockey niche and how much smaller it is compared to, obviously, the other sports there. But you look at Pac-Man, 380,000, which is massive. Like, don't get this twisted. It's massive. But then I pointed Ziri. Oh, he's a hockey guy. Okay. He's got 78,000 subscribers. Scott, that's monstrous. Like, then remember, he's focusing on a niche. He's only doing one sport. Like, that's it. He's not touching any of the other ones. He's not doing basketball. He's not doing baseball. He's not doing football. Hockey only, and almost 79,000 subscribers.
And he's faceless. He doesn't put his face out there.
I mean, how those guys started is they got the product on day one and opened it where everybody could watch, or even before day one. That's why I used to watch Pac-Man because he had the stuff before it was released.
Yeah.
So I could see what the product was. And then my man Mike would have it the day it was released. But so you could watch Pac-Man and really get to see what the product was. And I knew he grew very fast. I didn't know he was I haven't watched him in some time because I'm not interested in the packs anymore because I can't buy the product. So doesn't really matter.
Do you watch Striker?
Does he do soccer?
Striker breaks? Yep. I'm familiar with him.
Baseball. He's baseball folk. Well, mostly baseball. He has 154,000 subs and does a lot of like product review. And he used to do breakdown on the odds and stuff. I don't know if he still does that anymore, but.
Yeah. And one of the things as well that I would add on here is that like for this one. He buys a lot of the products, but a lot of his sponsors are either breakers or stores because he can get that it helps, but he does still buy a bunch of them. But again, to your point, he doesn't show his face. He's got a persona. He does funny voices. He's got kind of silly edits and whatever. So it actually it does draw, it does skew a younger audience though, because they enjoy the silly voices and all that. It's one of those things like it's an interesting balance he found for himself. I give him credit because he's built a big audience, but it is one thing that I've always thought was kind of interesting. And look, at the end of the day, people can do whatever they want to do, but he gets fan mail. Like he'll have like mail days where like, kids will write him a letter and like give him some cards and stuff. Now to his credit, he does like, he treats the mail days from those kids the same as, but he's gotten some like crazy gifts. Some like, I say, actually, that's a really good card. That's interesting. Okay. There's fan mail. Brandon, I don't know. The only person I've seen with that kind of equivalent fan mail is Bobbles and Ballcards. Holy crap.
No.
I thought you were going to say another family name.
But I will say, and to put this serious though, you mentioned the younger crowd that sends him the fan mail. I still to this day remember the first person that ever sent me a letter, and it was Connor. He went by Collecting with Connor, and he used to be when I first started, I was like live every night, and Connor would be the first one in my chat every single night. And I just like when he wrote me the letter, I don't know, I appreciated it so much. I still have all the letters that anybody's ever sent me, but it was a really good feeling to know that someone actually enjoyed it. And, especially like a teenager that was enjoying the content and learning about the cards and all that stuff. So.
Sure. Good evening, Mark. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. We'll get the update from him later on. Ben Around says, good evening, gentlemen. I take it Eric has the night off. So he was here for the first half hour or so. He, since we did do the long live stream for the New Year's, I swapped out some of the lineup. I brought in Big Scott, reached into the bullpen, gave the signal, and Scott came in. I wanted to, listen, I got enough notices from people that are like, hey, you're not doing the thing. Okay, I'm here. We're here on Friday. We're not going to go a full-length episode. We're going to hang out for a bit. We're going to chill. We're going to have a good time. Look, Scott, I didn't even bother to go, again, because it was so damn cold outside, Scott. I polished off my beer on New Year's, and I didn't bother to go run to the beer store. It's like, listen, I'm not doing it. Not today. It's too damn cold. I'll get it on the weekend. So Carlos doesn't even have his standard mug because, look, I could have it, but I'd be putting water or Coca-Cola in it. Like, that's all I got. Mark, great video by Jake about his visit. There you go. There you are, Rob. So perfect. Rob, I'm glad you're here. So I did receive an envelope from you. So if you would like, let me know and I can share. I have extricated the cards from their location. So I have them here. If you'd like me to share them, I can kind of share. So the first two pieces of mail of the year, I got that one card that I showed a little earlier. So we got that. And then the other one, Rob did provide an envelope here as well. So I've got that. And then obviously we did the arrangement on New Year's for the Ray Bourque jersey. So we'll have some fun with that. We get caught up here on the rest of this. When we need a new AM magazine cover with Eric napping on a Friday, maybe. So there's a lot of subs from his early gaming days. He did. He started with that. Yes. The official Strongsville email went out today to the general public. Yes. Very similar to the dealer email from 12/24, except without all the dealer info. Okay. So they did finally get the notification out there. I still think it's unfortunate. And so, Scott, I was talking about that with the...
I'm sorry.
Which one are you looking at?
He's got me giggles. I'm sorry.
This one here?
No, the Strongsville. If I were to talk Strongsville, I was going to wear a black band tonight. But
well, listen, Scott, we can have a little fun with it for a moment because we had Dan on to talk about the thing. And look, I've been very clear about the thing. I don't have an issue with it. I don't even have an issue with the response to it, but obviously there's an element to it. This one here. It is true. It is problematic. I know. I thought about Scott. I was this close to getting Uber to bring me the beer, deliver it during the live. I thought about it.
I was wondering why. I was going to ask you, y'all don't have Uber up there?
Scott, I did that earlier for dinner. I actually got them to bring me Swiss Chalet because I was like, okay, you know what? I don't feel like cooking anything right now. Just bring it to me and we got some stuff.
That's not it.
Oh, listen, Swiss Chalet is good, Scott. I got it. The IRP will be happy.
Yeah, I heard that's y'all's place up there.
Yeah, so the IRP will be pleased. I got a chicken on a Kaiser bun. So I did in fact have a chicken sandwich. There you go. Started to see more national social media posts, lady. Dial a bottle. Yes, there were options, man. There were options, but you do have to pay extra when you Uber it. So I already did it once today. So that's it for that one. So anyway, I was going to mention. So here's the thing about the strong zone. The reality is, look, in the grand scheme of things, obviously the Strongsville guys like kind of the niche that they had put together with it. I did also get some other folks commenting on it that had been to the Strongsville show for a bit, and for them, it's like, yeah, okay, as things change, things change. The dramatics are fun, but the reality is, so here's the two things. Two things can be true at the same time. People can feel however they want to feel about it, because Scott, taking it the other way. Ed talks about, the corporatization of the hobby and all that stuff, and you talk about it as well. I could do the same thing with you. It'd be like, well, so what? Deal with it. Play in the pond or don't play in the pond.
Yeah,
like that's how that works.
Exactly.
So from the owner standpoint, I understand why they do it, because having the Pokemon people and all that will bring more butts in through the door. So business is business. Money is money. Now, the one thing though that I would say is a valid argument on the other side of it is when you incorporate that, then Strongville is no different than any other show. So as soon as you do that, you kind of take away the gimmick that kind of gave it a distinctive identity. So then the other folks can just kind of be like, okay, so if you want to do the gathering, then maybe Ohio isn't the best spot. Then people can maybe you do the Philly show instead, or you do one of the other ones and you kind of find a different spot to gather the bigger group of people.
Yeah, I when I first heard it, they're separating it and all this stuff, and I was just like, well, I said last year, I go, they already moved it once because they got bigger. Now they got this many people. So you kind of stabbed you only shot yourself in the foot by telling everybody to come, and this was the place, the new place. And it's a double-edged sword. Now you got everybody wanting to come there. So they're like, okay, we got to get a bigger venue. They joined somebody else, and now it's double the size. And I knew you got to have tables. You're going to have modern and the Pokemons. I understand why people are upset because it was their thing, but the way it sounds, they're going to separate the two, so it's going to make it easier. So,
yeah, and I think though the bigger piece is going to be, and this is actually the more pertinent point to me, if you want to change the venue to use the additional space and all these things, Scott, as the owner, so Menzie is the one who's the owner of it, and we know Menzie, and we're going to kind of inquire with him a little bit about it. But here's the thing: that part I have no objection to, because again, it is his. He owns the show; he can do whatever he wants with the show. It does take away the identity, so it will be kind of just like any other show. Now people can make their choice where they want to go going forward. I think for this one, they'll just do their thing. The one thing though, Scott, that is always problematic though, and I talk about the communication thing, and I'm consistent on this point. It's fine that you want to change the venue to do the show, but we're in January. The show is in April.
That was terrible.
So the turnaround is like, some people were booking that stuff well in advance. So you kind of wanted to get the word out the door sooner, would have been good, because the sooner the better.
Yeah, they should have waited till next year. They should have announced it at this show.
Yes, exactly.
That was very bad on their part.
Correct. Yes, correct.
But the biggest thing, so when I was watching Mike and his thoughts on it, when he was first to bring it about, I was like, well, you keep talking about everyone staying in the same hotel. That's the main point of going to that show is you also have a niche of people that's all y'all collect, or mostly collect, going to this one show. So I think that's the bigger thing. Don't worry about what's at the show. It's what y'all are going for the show for. So
I think it's going to be, it'll be a little bit of a double-edged thing, because I think for this show, I don't think it's going to affect too much. It is annoying though, and I think it's valid, Scott, for somebody to be annoyed that, hey, I had already booked a hotel, now I have to suddenly cancel a hotel and try to get another hotel. Like, but you're not giving me a lot of time. You're like, I must immediately have to do it right away. And then getting the notification. So what Dan was talking about, getting the email just now, if they hadn't seen Mike's video or hadn't heard through the grapevine yet, they're like, oh crap, now I got to scramble to try to get the other hotel. So that's fine for this one show.
Done wrong, very wrong.
Correct. Exactly. So now some of the other ones, and then Dan and the 457 collectors, the NWO, they were going to work on maybe having an event and doing, because any gatherings or anything you want to do, if you may have to suddenly change venues and be like, okay, and any venue that you're booking, a lot of them want to book in advance. So it's the same thing. Communication, letting people know sooner is better, because then they can make alternate arrangements and adjust.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, that was piss poor on that people for doing it that way. But you knew it was coming. You knew they were
Correct.
going to get bigger. Because it was
Correct.
they're getting too big. It was people said it was crowded and this, that, and the other. It was a hockey
Yes.
rink. So you know it was going to get bigger. And to get bigger, they got to sell more tables. So you knew eventually this was going to happen. They went all in all at once. Why they did it now is just unconscionable to me. But
Yeah, well, exactly. Like Dan's touching on here. So the Philly show, moving from the casino to the expo, was announced very far in advance. So again, you own the show. You can do whatever you want. That's completely within your rights. The thing is, it's better though for most of your attendees if you give them as much notice as you can. If you let them know, hey, we're going to be doing this next time around. You run your show, but then next time we're going to be going to another venue. So make sure adjust your hotel bookings accordingly. If you want to book some kind of a trade night or kind of a hangout, whatever, think about where the place is, think about where the hotels are, and then maybe figure that out someplace that makes sense for you. The more notice, the better.
yeah, it was more funny to me that I didn't think it was funny how they did it. I thought it was funny because we all knew this was going to come. And it
Eventually,
came
yeah.
very faster than I think what we thought, but
Mhm.
just from what happened the last couple of years. But it was. I think with the Philly show, they even announced it when people went to the casino, the last casino show. They knew that was the last casino show.
Yeah. Which I think is a perfectly valid way to do it. I think that makes total sense. Yeah. Let them know as they're coming in. Hey, by the way, we're going to be making this change. And just so and then you announce it along the way. Everybody knows and they can all make their adjustment. That's, I think, a good way of doing business. Let the people know and then they can figure out their plans going forward. I like this one from Baz.
I got 3 shows within my immediate area this weekend. You think that's too much?
I don't know, Scott. I think for the content, you got to do 3 shows in one.
I'm going to all 3 of them.
Okay.
But one 500 tables and the other 2 are promoting for 100 tables. That's a lot of tables.
But Scott, we talked about this with Hitman. He's in Florida Man land, and in Florida Man land, it's like he's got 500 table shows every 15 feet. How it fits in 15 feet, I don't know, but he's got 500 table shows. It's incredible. Everybody's got a 500 table show, Brandon. If you were in Florida right now, in the closet where we used to keep SGCP is a 500 table show. There'd be one right there.
Yeah,
you open the door and boom, you don't even have to go far.
Just before we get too far and before I forget, talking about announcements and people making arrangements. This was made almost a month ago, the announcement. If you are planning to submit to CGC, don't forget, have your form done before the 6th. Prices will be going up. So, little announcement, little reminder.
Have they announced the new prices?
Yeah, they announced it in December.
Yeah, it was like $1 or $2 for the different levels.
I have a membership. I don't even know. I missed that whole thing.
Basically, every service level is going up $1. The biggest change that would affect people and surprise people is pack pulled autographs. Not the JSA stuff, but pack pulled autographs are going from a $2 additional fee to $5 additional fee. But the service level stuff it's $1, so it's not like life-changing money there, but the autograph thing that was a sneaky one.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But I think it's a valid call out. That's what I'm saying. Like knowing these things in advance is the good news is we did hear about it, and like Brandon had mentioned it, and I did see it in a couple of places, so at least it's known. Bad timing, given that this is an opportunity for CGC to try to take a little market share. The market sentiment is kind of against PSA. Maybe you want to steal a little market share. It'd be wise.
Yeah, I don't. The part that I don't like about the autograph thing, aside from the fact they're charging $5 additional for a pack pulled autograph,
right?
There's no option to say you don't want the autograph graded, because personally, I would rather just even at $2, I could care less about the auto grade. So I'd rather save the money and just not have the auto grade, but they don't give you that option. So that's the part that I dislike about it. I think it should be optional. So
makes sense. I'll read a couple of comments so you don't get caught up. So thank you, Rob. Sounds good. We'll check it out in a couple of minutes. Appreciate that. Thank you. Baz here says Strongsville played a significant role in the Civil War, although not the battleground. Bobbles is the first show, so to speak.
Bobbles is in the south. He's not in the north where Strongsville is.
Mm. Rick here says Carlos talking the truth. That was the charm of Strongsville. It's just like any other show now, which is, like I said, that part, Scott, I agree, because we've got a lot of shows that are very similar. It was nice. Again, I don't care. I'm not going to attend one way or the other, but the concept of having a show that at least had some distinguishing feature, because we've got so many shows now and so many potentially big shows all over the place. So now you kind of have to be like, okay, look, the National used to be like, okay, well, this is the biggest show, etc. But then it's become more expensive. So for some folks, they kind of have to make a decision. And you're like, okay, so if you want to do a gathering, so now where do you do it? The Philly show is an option. They had a Philly show kind of get together, so that's an option you could do. Chantilly, prior to now, we're gonna have to figure out if it's gonna have a new location, where it's moved from its place. That was a thing. There was a regional show out west. They got the West Collector Show.
It's going to be in Bobbles back behind him. You said it.
Yeah, well, he'll open the door and hit up the show, and it'll be good.
What I like to mark on this from Rick is, I agree wholeheartedly, because I was not this year, probably not, but I was planning on a Strongsville show for the fact it's vintage. Now that it's not, I don't have any reason to go to that show.
Correct.
The reason for me to go is not there anymore. So I agree with Rick 100%. I can go to the Philly show and see vintage cards, or go to not many local, but Philly was really good for vintage, I have to say.
Yep, and I think that's fair. Zach says the people complaining are the ones that talked up the show and made everyone want to go. It's all those influencers. Damn. 2 options Sunday, Garfield in Plainview. Mark says in Boston area, could go to show every weekend. I believe it. Listen, I'm still looking forward, and we're hoping. I'm hoping for boots on the ground. We're going to see if we can get Eric out on location, because I'm promised 1,000 table show in Marlboro. And again, I want the Marlboro man, and I want Bougie Eric going up and down, giving him kazoo parade. Let's go.
Bob Boozle, I have said it. I want to nominate a Pokemon YouTuber this year for Hall of Fame. Hey.
Charizard can't tear an ACL, man. Can't tear an ACL.
Cannot. What's
Bubbles,
up?
Bubbles resold used rounds and bullets to both sides in the Civil War.
Pause right there. I made it
Go.
back just in time.
All right, for the Civil War.
Boozle, look. Y'all want to play into the funniness? We'll play into the funniness. Do you want some used Civil War bullets? I got a whole damn bag of them. Here.
There you go. Baz says, Bobbles, you were there under your pseudonym, General Custer. Quite a few deals in Strongsville that aren't in Philly. That's fair, but we'll see. So here's a chicken or the egg situation, Scott. And again, we'll see. Like, obviously, this is the first go around with the new location and the random change. Now, I don't think it's going to make a lot of change for the folks that were already committed to going to this show. But if it dampens their enthusiasm, then some of those dealers who are interested in doing that show because it drew a certain audience, if that audience kind of dissipates or kind of gets diluted a bit, then maybe they're not as interested. And then suddenly those dealers look at the other options too. It depends. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know yet. But it is going to change it up a little.
We got the rounds. Just tell me how many you need, Boozle. I got
That's right. That's right. Still a unique show given the number of vintage-only dealers. That's fair. No, those are not the rocks, man. Yeah, Bobbles has got it. Yeah. Well, Bobbles shaves, those bullets fell out. They could be anywhere, man. Could be anywhere. It's valid. It's not wrong. Sounds good. So yeah. So so we'll see. That'll be interesting for me. That'll be one of the little mini. I'll enjoy kind of getting the Strongsville, post reaction once they get a chance to do the show with the new setup.
Yeah, because as soon as I heard the news, that was my first reaction. Was like, well, I don't have any need to go there anymore because that's gone. I mean, the reason for it is gone. Even though, yes, all those dealers, theoretically speaking, the dealers are going to be the same there. But we'll have to wait and see. Because if it's that discouraging, I want to see how many people don't go because of it, right? Because it does have modern and Pokemon. That's what I'm interested in.
Well, I think for the first go around, I think there's a couple of folks that are pot committed to it. They're like, no, I'm going to change the hotel. I'm going to the other hotel. They're going to. So for at least one go around, I think a bunch of them will just go. I think it depends on how their experience is this go around. If the stuff on the side is still fun enough for them and they can still find some cards they want, then maybe they'll grit their teeth and be like, fine, whatever, just roll with it. But again, that's what I said. Like the big thing is that now it's just another show. When we add those other components and the other elements to it, it's just like any other show, except it's in Independence, Ohio. I think it's the new location, Independence,
Right.
Ohio. So it's a show in Ohio. Well, depending on how that show is, how the dealers do and everything, if it's just a show, well then, yeah, you got this other option you got there, or you can go behind Brandon's door. 500 table show. Boom.
I kick Pete out.
That's what I'm saying. I think it could work out. The other thing as well is that, look, Scott, what I want the video. All right, guys, I went to the Strongsville show. So here's all the Pokemon I bought. And that's the entire pickup. There's no vintage, just Pokemon. That's all I
Right.
got.
So one last thing about this for me is my last show in 2025. I went to a show that had a school with 2 gymnasiums.
Mhm.
One was Pokemon's and one was sports. I went into sports one. It had a good crowd, but it was flat. Not much energy. I did well. It was a good show, whatever. I walked past Pokemon, saw a friend of mine from work in there, walked in there, and that was hopping. That was almost like a club atmosphere going on in there. Music playing, people were having a good time, and it was a lot of energy. And so don't be surprised if you see that at the independent show or the whatever we call it, the show now.
Well,
don't
I
know what
showed
it-
the expo. The expo kind of has the Poke Peoples in the corner back there. They try to hide them, but they know how to take and grab the crowd with the big blow ups in the corner, and then they got the people dressed up in the full costumes walking around. However, I do want to honestly say, for the U.S. folks, if you've never went to the expo and to see the way the U.S. shows are, and we're sitting here discussing a vintage show and the Pokemon coming in and it's just another show. If you want a different show, the expo is truly like, I have Chantilly in my backyard and I really, really enjoyed myself at the expo because there was things there that you don't see at every show here. Like, yes, it's a good bit of hockey, but it was a good mixture of everything. And not just cards, like there's the trinkets and people selling jerseys and all kinds of stuff. So I really enjoyed it. So
Yep. And Bobbles was hitting on. This is a key demographic right here. This could change the game. This could be it right now. Bobbles is on this. Just saying. Listen, it's not just the exciting new avatar that Bobbles has had the last couple of weeks. Bobbles is stepping up the game. Another level. This is the kind of quality insight we need, Big Scott.
the
So-
vintage Strongsville area might actually have tags show up to do on-site grading.
Whoa. Tag this into vintage. Imagine if they had a booth. They're like, yeah, we don't grade that. Yeah, we don't grade that either.
I definitely went back to like 2007 or something. Like, in
Yeah,
their-
but the Pokemans will be there.
The Pokemans. Yes, that's true.
hey,
Yes.
I've been told Pokemon has vintage now. So when somebody told me that at work, I was like, you have to explain to me what is vintage Pokemon. And they told me it was like the first year of Pokemon is vintage. I went, oh, okay.
Well, Pokemon, like even if you go to the Japanese ones, it only goes back to like 96. There's
Right.
there's no pre. Like that's as far back as we can go.
That's what I want to go. What's pre-war before you had to catch them all? I don't know
Well,
what it was.
the vintage truly is like the Wizards of the Coast era, when Wizards owned it, and then obviously it turned into the Pokemon Company or whatever. But I think most of them consider that Wizards era as the vintage stuff. So
Yeah. Well, you kind of have to grade on a curve, though. You, like I said, you literally have to be. You have to think about like there's nothing before the Japanese release because that's the earliest stuff.
yeah,
and then
96.
the North American ones come in like 99, I believe, if memory serves me, somewhere thereabouts.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was there at like a thing where they first got the boxes and the kids went in chasing the Charizard at the time and all that stuff. I remember it, but it's one of those things where they got really excited about it. Like I remember it took off pretty well for them initially at the beginning, especially, and then years later. But that is your quote unquote Pokemon vintage era. because it is approximately 30 years ago. So that's the oldest they got.
I think Topps is going to try to weasel their way back into it because they had
Well, don't
stuff
they
in the
have?
late
Didn't they have one for the
90s.
cartoon? Didn't they have cards for the cartoon? I
Yep,
thought
in the
Topps was
late
involved in that.
90s.
Yeah, I thought so.
And I think with as big as that space is, I think they're going to try to weasel their way back in it.
Into Pokemon itself or something else?
Into Pokemon.
Pokemon's a big
Well,
deal.
they won't do the game cards. It'll be like regular cards because that's what they were back then. They were
Right.
just basically character cards, like any other thing. The Pokemon cards are the game cards, but it wouldn't surprise me if they don't. I mean, hell, they're into everything now.
There you go. Stephen the PH says, I will say that because I'm a vintage collector. Strong's was truly different than most of the shows I've been to. Well, that's what we were kind of we were talking about is that, yeah, they had a hook that was different than the other shows. And now they won't have that hook anymore. It'll just, as Dan says, maybe. And I said, maybe if the vintage dealers still do well enough, Scott, the ones that kind of focus their attention on it may still attend it, because if there's enough vintage guys that walk in the door and they still do enough business, at the end of the day, business is business, whatever. But then you have lost the unique hook. You do become just like in any other show, maybe with more vintage than normal. So I don't know if that's enough of a pull. Maybe it is. I don't know.
They're just the way it is. The cards are going now. If there's a way to make more money, they're going to make more money. They're going to shoehorn another table in there. They're going to get as many people through the door as possible. So I'm sure that's what these people saw. They didn't. The shortness of the announcement just blows my mind, though.
True. Abel in Vegas here. Good evening. I believe there's a 30th anniversary Pokemon Chrome coming out this year. There's an Instagram post that possibly leaked an Artist Auto card. Well, that'd be a hook. Artist Auto. I think that'd be a hook for that category. Give them a little bit of chase. When will Pokemon start putting serial numbers on their damn cards? So that happened with Wizards of the Coast. That happened with Magic the Gathering started getting a couple of serial numbered cards. And that's after decades. Go ahead, Scott.
So Pokemon does have cards that are unnumbered, super secrets, super rares.
Yes, they do. Yep.
So the numbers say to 50, and then they won't have no number on the bottom. So they're like the super rare, super secret cards. And then you have full art and all this other stuff. I used to put cards in for my friends. I don't own Pokemon.
All right, big Pokemon 35, whatever you say.
I know way too much about the Pokemons now, where they already kind of do that. But Pokemon's already come out and said you can take them off the shelves and buy them as much. We're just going to keep printing them. They don't care about that. If you're going to keep buying them, they're going to keep printing them. That's what.
So can I throw this out there, and Brandon, we can kind of take this in a couple different directions. We can have a little fun with it. One of my favorite things about the Pokemon's space is that I don't need to participate in it. I don't need to buy the cards. Well, outside of the Cheese Stringamon, because personally I named the Cheese Stringamon, so honestly, I have to have a couple in my collection. But one of my favorite things is, and if you go look at the YouTube side of it, they've got Pokemon channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers or millions of plus subscribers. Like they dwarf us. The biggest Pokemon channels would crush Geoff under their boot. So it's not even close.
And they
but
hate resellers.
That's what I was about to get at. That's what I was about to touch on, Scott. So they push back hard. Like they're literally like they would literally make video series, bitching and moaning about the scalpers. And I'm like, oh, this is adorable. It's like, oh, you want to protect the purity of the hobby. I'm like, oh, this is good. This could be so good.
They go in and videotape all of the people that are sitting there trying to get the cards. And
yeah.
Woo, they'll start fights.
They will.
It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brandon.
I think the big difference in the separation of the two is they can make, when they make the booster boxes, which is like a hobby box, right? There's nothing guaranteed in that box. Now there is what you would say like a normal hit rate. So for them to number the cards, it's virtually irrelevant because people know when they're buying that that the majority of that box is just base cards, and they might get a couple hits out of it. Who's to say what those hits are? That's unknown. But I think a key to remember is sports cards, we coined this era as junk wax. And part of that was because it was pre-internet, when we didn't know exactly how much was being printed. Pokemon is doing this, saying we're going to print to meet demand. The internet is there, and it is still selling and hard to find. So why do they need to put serial numbers on it if they can print the absolute hell out of it? The internet exists, it's at your fingertips to buy it, and it still continues to sell out and prices go up.
Right.
There's no need to put serial numbers.
And to that, what I was saying about the super rares and the full art and all that, they're not numbered, so they can. Nobody knows how many are out there. They have no clue how many's out there. So, I mean, right now I have one of my best friends in Iowa. He is having him and one of his boys love opening it, and he also collects one booster out of every. Well, he can't even get to it before the scalpers get it. And he's not buying all, so I'm always looking for him, and I'll mail it out to him. So they're having their 2020 moment, 2019 moment right now that we had, but they do not like it. It's really, you go over on I've been watching some Pokemon ones, and they are ruthless when it comes to.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was going to add, kind of playing into that, I agree that the internet is out there and they know, but the thing is, like, in some instances for certain things, the numbers don't lie. Like the information is there, and if you really want to know what's going on, you don't have to work too hard. So I'll give you a perfect example of that. So since you mentioned it, this is one that's right now is like the ultimate example of kind of this concept. So here's you got the Pikachu with the Van Gogh hat. This is one of those promos that was out there in the world. So right now, this is an open auction. It's almost 2 days left. This is going to end on Sunday. It's at almost $1,300 US right now. Well, if you look here, this is almost 45,699 PSA 10s are out there. 45,000. 45,000, almost 46,000 PSA 9s. There's 100,000 that have been graded to this one card alone, and it's clearing $1,300 right now. 46,000 PSA 10s is not enough to dissuade them. We cannot keep it in stock.
Right. Well, that's like what Logan Paul, one of the Paul brothers, is selling his Pokemon, and he got one of the Japanese one that he wears around his neck or whatever. Just like if it was a Jason Robertson card. Ooh. I mean, but,
don't make fun of that. Carlos can attest to. There was a lot of people that appreciated the Jason Robertson on the chain at the expo. A lot of people liked it.
Did you have your own entrance music when you came down the hallway? That would have been great.
No, but
he should have. Yeah,
did stop me, ask about it. A lot of people took pictures of it, and a lot of people would walk by and just turn and look. So I thought that was kind of funny. But remember, this is the can't make the U.S. Olympic team, Jason Robertson.
Right.
Ooh.
Explain that one.
Well, listen, they listen to your pump and they're like, that guy, I don't know. Real quick, I'll read a couple comments and we'll get caught up. Laura here says, are Pokemon and One Piece friends asking for a friend? Well, I need to talk about Big Pokemon 35 is who I need to ask this question to. Good evening, Brad.
What does that say?
Pokemon and One Piece.
Oh.
Right now, One Piece has gotten popular. I listen to a lot of those channels, and I know that some people are really. I said it with I was saying it with Dan on the New Year's Eve live stream. I know enough to be dangerous, so I do watch some of those channels. I watch a little bit of video. I don't want to be ignorant. I'm not a big fan of being like, no, I don't understand it. Like, listen, I don't understand it, and I don't collect it, and I don't play the game. Outside of the one card that I have a couple of copies of because it's funny and I enjoy it, but I don't follow the game. I know who Pikachu is. I know who Charizard is. Like, I know basic things. But beyond that, if I don't know anything. But I do know One Piece has started to take off. There's been a couple of those games that people are getting into. But people are looking for their category. But to Brandon's point from earlier, and to Scott's point as well, they are pushing so hard back against the scalpers. But the scalpers, because if you think about it, here's what I do know about Pokemon. most of the people who actually collect it, and I'm talking collectors who collect it, they're not buying booster boxes. They're buying like those different SKUs where it's like you get this and you get like 8 packs or whatever it is and like this thing. But that's the format they're buying it. It's almost like these retail formats are like 90% of what people open. There, I don't see too many people like, okay, so I bought a full, booster box of this. It's not really the way that a lot of them are opening this, and they can't find it anyway because what happens, the scalpers will go to Walmart or wherever and they'll go grab the entire rack and just grab everything. And there's so many of the blister packs that it's like, okay, so you're getting this like a pack or 3 packs or whatever it is, and that's how they're opening. They're opening like 3 packs at a time, Scott. It's not by the box. It's not by the case. It's like these different formats that are available a couple of packs at a time.
Well, I literally watched the guy pick a whole thing of the whatever card that packs, picked that whole thing up and went up to the rest. They wouldn't let him buy it because he could only buy a couple. But
Exactly.
And Target now has got most of the Targets have it locked down, so you can't even get to it. Sports cards.
So I'm looking.
Go ahead.
So I'm looking at a completely different style because even without the serial numbering and all that stuff, it's like, well, the thing is, again, people aren't opening boxes and boxes and boxes of material. Like, it's not the way they do it. So even Brandon with my AW stuff, like the Metal Universe, the first year Metal Universe, and then the first year Allure that they did, I probably opened 2 cases of it in like 6 box or I'll go grab, I would grab like 3 boxes or 6 boxes at a time. Well, it's still way more packs, but then you go look at the Pokemon guys. Hey guys, I found this thing, and then they open 8 packs. That's the entire break is 8 packs. It's these little smaller subsets at a time. It's not these big boxes. So it's a completely different way of collecting. It's a different way of styling it. But then you look at that Pikachu I just gave you. That was a promo, but there's over 100,000 just graded, Scott. We're not even talking about the raw copies. Over 100,000 graded, and 90,000 are either PSA 9s or PSA 10s. 90,000 are either 9s or 10s. And they're selling for $1,500 for the 10s. And that's with 46,000 available. Okay. Okay. And it's not 1 or 2 of them. That was an auction that I just showed you. There are buy it nows and stuff like people are buying and paying good money. Yeah, 45K PSA 10s. Yes. The Illustrator. Thank you, Steven. That's right. No idea the popularity where 46K and sells for over grand. I don't get it, but somebody's paying for it, man.
There's Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are. Nobody talks about Yu-Gi-Oh. My buddy sells them for hundreds of dollars a pop. The guy that I'll show that'll get the 11s from CGC, the 10 golds or whatever they're called. He sells the hell out of them. Does well with them. Buys them off the guys from Whatnot. Sends them to me, and I get them graded. Then he sells them. So.
Yep. I would like to have some shiny cards, but too expensive right now. I'm waiting for Crash to build the shiny binder. There you go. Oh, that was the other thing, actually, since Bob Boozle kind of indirectly mentioned it. When I watched some of those videos and I skimmed through them, the way that a lot of those folks collecting card are not even necessarily character-based. Some of them are, but some of them are like, okay, so I literally will listen to somebody describe this, and the way they describe it is, I got this Z-Folio, and I'm doing a Z-Folio, and I'm going to do the theme. One of them for the holidays I'm going to do a Z-Folio of like holiday themed. So they went and looked for Pokemon that looked like, Christmas elves or reindeer or ones that had like snow in the background or what. They're looking for themes, Scott. They what they're actually doing is they're making subcategories, and that's how they're collecting it. And it's like, okay, cool. Hey, but Scott, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's how you want to collect, that's fine by me. Go for it.
You know what that is? That's Hitman in the Pokemon world. Yep. Hitman collected Pokemon. That's what he would do. I guarantee you. So,
but that's what I thought was interesting. That's the thing that I was like, that's kind of interesting but that tells you why they push so hard back against the scalpers, because they're like, no, I just want to fill my Z-Folio with whatever theme I came up with. And that's what I want to do.
Yeah. They're like us. They just want to have fun.
Yeah. So here's Eric. So 1154.83. Strong. It's good. So far. Great job, indeed. Is there a TCG for Dummies book? Listen, maybe Big Pokemon 35 is going to have to write one for us.
I am. What all I know is I know they grade well because they got round corners. They do chip. You have to look for that, but they just grade well.
Yep. And then I want to thank you to Annoy for donation as well. And so that means right now the YouTube side of things is over $650 just on the YouTube side alone. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. It's like, nope, Rob, he was here for maybe about the first half hour. He is actually committed to spending time with his family this Friday. Can you believe how selfish? What a jerk.
I can't believe his family said okay to that.
Well, I think that's his cover story. I'm not saying I buy it, but that's what he claimed. That's what he claimed. Brad here says, I thought the whole concept of Pokemon was set collecting, collect them all. I think some people do try to collect the sets, but I think that also the price has gone up. So I think a lot of them have switched over to these themes as kind of a hedge against making it too expensive. And also some of them do like the characters, like Sherry from AMG. She likes Mewtwo and then one other version of Mewtwo or similar to it. So she actually will collect that specific character in all the different sets. Yeah, but no, I think she sticks to that specific one, but she'll collect it in the different sets. Yeah, she'll collect it in the different sets. Yeah.
Did something evolve into a Mewtwo?
No,
not sure. I don't think so.
Because that's I don't know.
Mew. There's Mew and Mewtwo.
Because the Pikachu is not a very popular one to collect. It's the Charizards. And I don't understand because Pikachu is the cover boy of the whole product. I haven't understood that one yet. But.
So I think it came based on the video game.
Yeah, there's actually 4. There's Pikachu, there's Charizard, there's Blastoise, and Venusaur. There was 4 releases: a yellow, a red, a blue, and a green.
Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah, I still don't. It's all weird to me.
Yeah, I think the popularity initially came based on the video game. Like people looked at that side of it because the Pikachu wasn't the star of the video game. It was the star of the cartoon.
It's the 4 starters for the video game.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that was the thought process, Scott. People focus because again, when the product first came out, they're focused on the card game. On the card game, the Pikachu isn't the one they're thinking of. They're fixated on the other ones. So the Charizard became the most popular one. And then kind of went from there. And once that was it. It became the standard. It became the Wagner. It became Mickey Mantle for them. That was it. That was the one.
Well, he's also a freaking dragon. I mean, hell.
True.
It's a dragon.
Coolest looking one. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is like a logic to it. And then once the momentum builds, then it kind of continues and perpetuates itself because once it gets the lead and becomes the one, then people keep rolling with it. Abel's here says, Pokemon has a great balance between kids wanting cards, players needing cards to play the game, collectors keeping sealed product, adults grading cards, and buyers wanting graded cards. Yep. There's a lot of elements that still kind of go together. Pokemon breakers do very well. I've seen from them take 2-wheelers full of product from a Dallas show from their hotel room and come back for more during the show. So I could totally see that. But that's why I say also the SKU being different also changes it because like I said, if you look at, like if you ever watch any of them, they're literally cracking open sometimes it's these big boxes and there's a bunch of stuff inside. There are packs in there, but there's like, sometimes they'll throw these large version of the cards or whatever. It's like these blister retail packs and they'll have a bunch of them and these different variants of them. And that is why Scott is on.
I am no Pokemon expert. I can tell you that.
All right.
I just know how the numbering works and full art and that stuff.
Look at Florida Man. The game is called Poke-E-Man, and the main character is Pikachu. How much time did you spend in the cold figuring this out, Florida Man? Tell me the truth.
He's huddled in front of his heater right now.
Right now, it's like, oh my God, it's like 50 degrees. We're near the fire.
Probably drinking coffee.
That's right. I'm hoping, Brandon, that we get like a vlog from Ham, and he's saying day 2, the temperature has not risen to 60 degrees, and I'm losing hope at base camp.
Well, fellas in chat, I'm gonna hop off and go spend some time with the wife and. Got to get up early tomorrow, put all the Christmas crap away, so got a busy day tomorrow. But
as long as you finish assembling Barbie's dream house, that's all that matters.
That was not my job. Barbie's dream house was assembled, and it is in its secured location, but it was not assembled by me.
All right. Just make sure Eric doesn't know where it is. But thank you for joining. Appreciate you, Brandon.
You guys have a good night. Good to see you, Scott.
Good to see you too. Later.
All right, let's see here. See, Paul's there. I get it. Danny says, "Yes." I don't think we're gonna get the 6 hours on this one. We'll hang out for a bit. It'll be good. Thank you, Laura. All right, so let me share.
Yeah, go ahead.
All I was going to do is I was going to share some cards since Rob had sent it. So I wanted to take a couple of minutes. So I've just got them here. So thank you, Rob. Appreciate you. I got your letter as well. So thank you for that. And what I'll do is I'll start off. I'll share. Let me start off with this one here. So first thing, we got a little holiday card going on. Very nice. Appreciate that. So I'll put that there. And then we got some Medanos here. So I'll share a couple of them. So first one. This one here is actually Men in the Middle, OPG, because everything's OPG. We got Peter Forsberg and Medano. They did an art version of it. So they had a small version of this and a large version of this. They're kind of these art cards that they did for OPG that year. And then so we got Medano and a janitor. Eric off in the distance. We'll appreciate that. Start off with that. Then we got some Medano cards here. First one. This one is actually, I'm just trying to remember the year on this one. This one is 2003. So I think 0203. So they did basically kind of a what if insert set. So Medano actually played a full season in 89-90. So this predates the rookie card by 1 year. So this is what if they had 89-90 OPG or tops for Medano. That card never existed, so they created the design. And then this one, there's your base OPG. Because you had an OPG and a tops version. Let me see, are these the same? Let me double check. I think they are. Might have a couple of copies of this. All right, so I think we got 3 copies of the OPG. I'll double check that after, but I believe that's right. Got to have the OPG. Then this is the year when they actually switched OPG to its own design instead of kind of replicating what Topps was doing at the time. This one did replicate the design, 91-92. There's the OPG rookie, Minnesota North Stars. Here's the regular size version of that same card. Then we got some Star Quests. Your base insert. You got your red one, which is 3 out of 4 stars. The big chase on this one was the Star Quest Golds. That was the quad. And those were the number to 100, which back then was a bit of a problem. Then we got these ones, which is basically a little cardboard bobblehead happening. There's your floating head, to whom it may concern. Then we got, yes, there's a UD Choice. There's your base card. And then this one is the Prime Choice. So there's the, there's the Choice Reserve. So it's a parallel of it. So let me see if I can get in the light a little bit. So if you can see, there's a little bit of some shine going on there. It literally has the words Choice Reserve on it. Well, the big chase for that was after for years was the Prime Choice Reserve, which had the big number on it. That was numbered to 100. But UD Choice was like a $1 a pack product, or it was like a $1 a pack product or $2 pack product. But because it was a retail kind of, it wasn't super popular, and it was like meant to be more of a kids thing. Not a lot of people cracked it open. So those out of 100s became extremely expensive, super expensive. So it was only up until last year that I got the Prime Choice Reserve, and that I was chasing that since 98, 99. And it's only last year that was able to happen. That is for collectors, right? You crashed the net. 1,209. There you go.
Nice.
Pretty good. That's pretty strong. So there you go. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it.
Nice. Nice cards.
So those are some good ones from back in the day. Bunch of the 90s one.
I got a couple of those UD floating heads. Did by any chance, I was hoping I was going to get to this before Brandon went, because he touches on this a lot. Did by any chance did you watch Brad's video today?
Was it the one where he sold the card?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I got a chance to watch it maybe about an hour before the live. Yep.
Right.
What about it?
I was just wondering, have you ever? I've never had that situation. But I would think if somebody offered me that amount of money, I would probably not have to think about it. But have you, I mean, you've sold a lot more than I have. Have you come across that same situation where somebody offered you, like for one of your Medanos or something that's one of your precious top 5 or something? Has that ever come across in your hobbying?
Yeah, so the 97-98 Pinnacle Totally Certified. They've got the the Mirror Golds, and then the Mirror Gold Platinum. Those have escalated in price over the years. They've gone way up, not a little up, way up. And I believe the last Medano that sold, and I actually had it a little while ago, so I'll see if I can pull it up. But it wasn't that long ago, and it was a let me go Platinum Mirror Medano. So I have a guy that does a lot of 90s stuff. He's very much into kind of specializing in that category. And as the price of those ones have started to escalate, they've gone up quite a bit. So actually, here it is. So I've got an example. I can show you what I'm talking about. So this one here is the one in question. So this one sold. So here it is. Totally certified gold mirror platinum. This one's in a PSA 8. So this one sold. And this was earlier this year. So that one sold in June. And it sold for just shy of $1,000 US. So $967.15. And that's the 8. I have a 9. So I've been offered a couple of times on that card. I've been very clear on this issue. So kind of let me give it a little background, and I'll kind of explain the video that Brad had on that one. So he had I forget the specific card that he had, but it was one of his Dan Marino cards, and it was obviously a great card. And he had picked it up. I think he did a trade deal kind of situation, and he had it for the equivalent of $600 in trade, sale, combination, whatever it was. And it was $600 what came out with the total. And somebody came by and basically asked, if he would consider doing a deal. And what happened with that one is he was offered $5,000. So right there, that's a massive offer, really strong. The guy was obviously being very serious. And he hesitated a little bit because it was a big card for him and he wanted to keep it. And he had been offered other things in the past. But then the guy comes in and says, well, I can sweeten it up and I can offer you this other Dan Marino card. And this is from Flawless. It's a number 2. So I guess the estimated value I think he put on it was about $1,500 for this card, approximately. So now you got a $5,000 cash offer to go along with a $1,500-ish card. So $6,500 cash and trade for what he picked up for like $600 in trade back in the day. So massive, huge, he 10x'd. He literally 10x'd.
Yeah.
So that's what got the deal done, because he still got a great card in return in addition to the cash to go along with it. And it was kind of the question that he posed on there. So for that card, I know the guy would have made an aggressive offer because obviously, look, I just showed you that the 8 was 1,000. And those have been steadily going up in price every single time out. The Gretzky's continue to set new record price, and that's dragging everybody else up with it because they're very popular and they're extremely, extremely tough, because that gold mirror platinum is numbered. And I think it's numbered to, I think it's 35. From late 90s, those are super tough.
Yeah.
And it's a very...
Not 10,000.
Yeah, nope. Yeah, so they're in hand, like that image is actually not showing it off in the best light. It actually has some great rainbow shine to go along with kind of a Dufex. It's got a combination of a Dufex and rainbow shine. It's an amazing looking card in hand. And the more light you get on it, the better it looks. So I understand why people have been into it. The short answer is, have I been approached to it? So the answer obviously is yes. Now here's to answer kind of your question, and I would love to get the chat's opinion on this. I've been very clear on this, and I say it kind of jokingly, but also kind of seriously. Here's the truth. There totally is a price. To invoke, he who shall not be named, but he who will be seen. Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. And Scott, if Nat Turner ever gets bonked on the head and he says, Carlos, what's it going to take? I go, well, you're going to put enough zeros behind it. Look, if he comes by and he says, look, Carlos, $2 million. I go, dude, for $2 million, I will throw you the keys to the house. So you can have everything in it. You can have everything that isn't bolted down. You can have the collection. You can have everything. I don't care.
Right.
I'll start over. I don't give a shit. And by the way, I wouldn't try to rebuild the collection. I wouldn't. So is there a price? Yes, of course. Of course there's a price. Now, it would have to be worth, because part of what Brad said in the logic is valid. It has to be worth my while, because for a lot of that stuff, I'm not going to be able to replace it. There's no amount of money because I own so many one-of-ones, Scott. I can't replace them.
Right.
Once I've sold it, I've sold it. It's a one-of-one. And, the only way would be to rebuy the same card that I just sold. So that wouldn't make any sense. The other part is my mentality on it. When you get an offer, the question is, would you buy the card at that price if you had a chance to? Let's say you had the money. Would you buy the card at that price? And if the answer is no, then the money might be worth more to you than the card. And kind of playing into this here. So Trees and Cardboard is saying, it's tough when you want the cardboard more than the money. Well, as long as you want the cardboard more than the money, well, there you go. That is the answer to the question. I like having the stuff. I like building the collection. But I would, like, if you're talking about a life-changing amount of money, enough for me to do a lot of very interesting things, Scott, there's more things in life to cards. I enjoy collecting cards. It's one of the things that I do, but I've got other hobbies too. So like there's other things I could do. You throw enough money, you put enough zeros on that check, Scott, I will sell you everything that isn't bolted down and everything that is bolted down.
And also with that, Brad said he thought the card was worth around $3,500 is what he would price it.
Correct.
So right there, he's $1,500 to the good to what he thought it was. Plus he got a card that was less in value, but it's a beautiful card. Because what he sold was a flawless. One was he sold a 2016 and got a 2017 back.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's almost like when in baseball they trade a player, a third baseman, get two minor leaguers and some scrub third baseman to take the other guy's place. He didn't get a scrub back. He got another all-star.
Yeah, he got another quality card that under different circumstances he would have been happy to acquire anyway. So,
yeah, the one that he wanted, one he knew he would never find.
Correct.
So, I mean, to me, that the card, that extra card get thrown in was a no-brainer. But I just the cash, I probably would have lost out on the card because I probably would have jumped on the cash. But I was just wondering, what other people, how far would they go to hold on to a card? But I don't have any cards that are, I don't know if I have. Yeah, I guess I do. Now that I think about it, never mind. I do have some cards now that are so sentimental to me that I don't know I can let go of. So I guess I do have some issues. Now, everything has a price, like you said. But those hold such a sentimental value, that price is going to have to be stupid. So
yeah, and that's why I kind of included that qualifier in. It's got to be part of the equation because, and I'll touch on a couple of comments that touch on it as well. So Steven says the card you also got is also real beauty. Very true. The patch on it and is everything. The autograph on that card was very nice. So Brad says, Carlos, would you trade the Medano to Nat for Beckett grading? Absolutely not. No, you know what? You know what I would trade? Let me go see if I can find a base card somewhere. That's what I'll trade for Beckett grading, straight up. And you're gonna have to include cash. You have to include cash, just so we're clear. Some of these cards are better than having money in some cases too. Hey, I'm never going to tell anybody, and this is I'm always very clear on this. I just want to reiterate this. I'm never going to tell it, dude, it's your hobby. It's your stuff. That's why I said, that's why I asked the question. In the offer, the question is, would you pay the equivalent amount? Because in effect, and I remember that someone mentioned this philosophically, and I agree with them. I agree with the philosophy. In effect, if you're turning down the offer, you're basically saying you would buy it at that price. Because whatever they're offering, you're saying it is worth at least that much to you. So if you had the money and you were looking, you would be willing to pay at least that amount. You're saying it's worth that to you at the minimum, if not more. And for some people, the answer is yes. Okay, makes sense. I have absolutely no problem with that. For me, the process and the journey was the majority of it. I like having this, like, I wouldn't keep buying stuff, Scott. I don't need more stuff. I've got plenty of stuff. So another patch card isn't going to change my life one way or the other. It's a very nice card. I like it, but I don't need another one. Like, this is just but the price on it was good. The seller was a local one, got it shipped directly to me. Cool. And this will be another nice piece to add to that collection. But at this point, I don't need to add another one. I already have a good collection. Like, I'm very happy with a lot of the stuff that's on there. But I like the process. I like going through it. I like finding this stuff. I like occasionally, hey, that's one that I haven't seen in a while, or one that I get a chance to pick up. But yeah, if one of the rich guys come by and they're like, so basically I can pay off my condo, I can pay this, I can pay that, and have cash left over, and be able to play with some of my other hobbies. Listen, Scott, Carlos can go back to watches. Like, you put enough money on there, Carlos can go back to his watches. So I don't mind. I've got other collections that I can have some fun with. Steven says the card he sold was out of 5 and the card he received was out of 2. So great deal in my opinion. Fair.
I thought so too. It was a beautiful card he got back.
Yeah, I think, and the card he got in return, I think will fit very nicely in the collection. I think he's in good shape, and then he can use that money for anything he wants, including another card if he wants to.
Yeah.
So Marcus says part of my thought process would be how long am I going to hold on to everything before I start liquidating because of how old I am. That's a factor. So I think that's fair.
So with Mark, you saying that because I mean I'm not old by any, well I guess by a stretch of any, but being 54, I've never really thought about getting rid of cards because of my age. I don't. Is that something that crosses people's mind that you get to a certain age you need to start getting rid of them, or is there a reason?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's a certain depending on what somebody, they're basically, depending on what they're doing, because some people have to, even Jimbo is actually trying to sell more cards than he's taking in. So the goal is actually to reduce the number. He's still buying stuff, but then also trying to get stuff out the door.
Well,
so the goal is to actually reduce the number.
Yeah, I am definitely liquidating right now because my hobbying has changed. I was still hobbying like I was in the 80s, where I was trying to buy everything and collect everything. And you can't do that now. It's just crazy to do that. Yeah. So I'm focused on about 10 things, and that's where I'm at now. So.
Yeah, that's why I said like any new collection, because I'm a player collector at heart. That's kind of where my preferences lie. The Medano collection is an outlier in my collection in that I have volume. I have great stuff, but I also have volume. I have both quality and quantity. For all my other PC collections that I do now, I'm trying to have like a Z Folio or something, like something controlled, or maybe like something in a box that I can fit, like a control box. And I don't want to have a hoard. I don't want to have a pile that's so big that I'm like, all right, with the Medano collection, I literally have overflow boxes, Scott, and I'm just too lazy to sort. So when I have overflow boxes, plural, in addition to the ones that have been sorted over the years, which is literally thousands of cards, but I still have overflow boxes, that's too many damn cards, Scott. Yeah. That's too many damn cards. So it gets to a certain point that it gets kind of silly. But I have a checklist and that's how I keep track and make sure I don't buy duplicates and stuff to the best of my ability. But even then, it's getting kind of silly. So I don't know. Carlos said the sentimental value doesn't have much actual value. And everybody will be different. There are some folks that have definite, huge sentimental value. And they want to keep certain cards. And nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Bubbles says, when is the Medano Museum opening? Surely there's some non-profit status Carlos can exploit from this. Listen, there's hope springs eternal. Pay off the condo and get a van to go stealth camping? No, but that'd be hilarious. I've gotten into the stealth camping watching the YouTubes, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't want to do this, but I'm enjoying watching you try. Yep. Drink a beer. Burr. 62 at some point. Fair, Mark. I got you. I got you.
I guess I'm thinking now I might have to sell one day to survive. I don't know, but I mean, I'm not doing it just because I'm getting older. I'm doing it to make room. Also, right now, I'm enjoying selling 200 and some cards. In negotiations, I'm getting an auto Pete Alonso for free, basically, from selling cards on the site I'm on to get that one card. And I'm fine with 200 cards to get one card. I'm good with that. So,
yeah, well, we have kind of the opposite because, we got Eric on here usually. And listen, Eric might not make it to the end of the live stream most nights. So like he's contemplating his mortality every single time.
Right.
Literally every time. Every time we start the live. Brad says, I don't necessarily agree that you need to be willing to pay what is offered to keep a card. Stuff about more than a decade ago, I wouldn't pay the price to buy today, but I have no desire to sell. The thing is, Brad, you are doing it indirectly. It's not about whether you're saying you'd be willing. The thing is, you are willing. Because you're not willing to take the money for it. So if you didn't have it in your possession, you're saying you wouldn't be willing to pay the money for it, but you actually rejected the amount of money. So you're saying that in your mind it's not worth that, but at the same time you don't want to sell the card. So you're kind of contradicting yourself. You got to kind of reconcile that with yourself because you are in effect saying it is worth at least that amount to me, but then you're also trying to say I wouldn't pay it. You have to kind of figure that out on your own because every time you turn down one of those offers, you are saying that I would pay it. That's why I said, if you had the money, would you pay it? Because you are saying it is worth at least that amount. So you can't play both sides. It is worth that amount to you because that's why you don't want to sell it. You're saying it's worth more to you to keep than it is worth for you to get the cash equivalent that's being offered.
We stumbled onto something that's kind of got me. I like this type of stuff. So thank y'all.
Yeah. Ken here says, I'll be 47 at the end of the month, and I'm already thinking about my age and downsizing. Fair. Yeah, Sports Car Anonymous, Dakota. Good evening. Thinks the sentiment is gaining steam in the hobby. Concentration. Some people are focusing. Sports Car Anonymous has revealed himself. Yes, he has snuck like a phoenix from the ashes to rejoin the YouTubes. Now he has a video. I know, scandalous. You should just cheat Dakota and just relist some of the old videos. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, all the content. Like he's got a bunch of videos that were disappeared. He could just reappear them. Plus Dakota, you could relist the infamous like 8.5 hour live stream. If you still got it on the YouTube, put it back on. That's the one record live stream that was there from back in the day. You could probably put it back on. So I don't know if you just delisted them or deleted them, but if it's still there, that'd be funny. Dad says, I'm having my entire collection buried with me. I think you should do it like the old Egyptian pharaohs. It's like they just go in and try to like raid the tomb.
Mine's all going to be put in when I get cremated with me. How's that? That'd be y'all can make all the videos you want destroying me then for burning those cards.
Scott, what I would do is if in that scenario, I would give explicit instructions. I would like to be cremated. Okay. But I want to make sure the cards are, it's like, which ones? Just the vintage. The 1991 Fleer must be preserved for future generations. Those are the important ones.
Do not touch the 90 Don Ross.
Yes, leave those alone. Those are the important ones. The Manos can burn. The mazes can burn. Yep. There you go. Well, I don't think Dakota's, we're working on it. Listen, I'm going to see if I can get Dakota to come on. I'm going to try to get him on a live one of these days. But right now, it's still work in progress. Still got to build it up, but we'll see. There you go. No, I live the dream. Go for it. All right, so at some point, we'll send a mentality giveaway to food on the table. So I don't think in this scenario, we're not talking about selling for need.
Right.
Because in Brad's case, it wasn't like, oh my God, my life will end if I don't sell this.
Oh.
The point was, the original question was, is there like a price or is there a point at which you would consider selling a card that is maybe a very nice card, a very important card to you? Like basically, do you have a price? Does everybody have a price for the $1 Million Man? That's the question. I said, for me, it's not about sentimentality. And it's not also about food on the table. Don't have to sell things. I still sell stuff anyway because I'll acquire extra stuff over time. And for me, it's extra and I don't need it. But like I said, there is a price for all of it. Because there is a point at which I don't need to keep cardboard around me. I already collected it. I bought it. I accumulated. I built maybe a set or whatever. I did this already with, again, perfect example. Back years ago, I decided I was going to do a little themed collection of stuff. And I wanted to get all the 600 goal scorers. So I wanted to have autograph cards for all the 600 goal scorers, everybody from Gretzky on down at the time. And I did. I completed it. I had different types of cards for everybody, and I was able to come up with different versions of having, and I had a nice variety of different things. It was kind of cool to do. But once I was done, I was like, okay, this is cool. I don't really need to keep this around. I'm not really going to spend a lot of time looking at it. So then I sold off all the pieces. My Canadian cards, build certain sets, and then he'll do it, and he'll get bored and be like, all right, sell them off. And then I'll work on a new project. For him, it's the building the projects. It's the projects. It's the thing. So it's not just retaining the cards and throwing it into a box into storage and then going to the next. That's why he sells off these ones to start a new project. My dad, Carlos Sr., was a big motorcycle guy. So he loved, one of his things that he enjoyed was finding these kind of broken down or kind of older motorcycles. And he would take everything apart, assemble it, repair it, do all these. His hobby was the repairing and the basically putting it all together and making it work. And then he'd ride it around for a couple months, Scott. And then he'd sell the motorcycle and go find another one off the scrap heap effectively.
Right.
And it was the process. It was the doing it over and over again. But he would maybe pick a different type of motorcycle this time, come up with a completely different one. So for him, the pleasure wasn't the owning. It was the finding the diamond in the rough, rebuilding it, getting it up, restoring it to its former glory, making it look good, sell it off, go get another one.
Yeah. I mean, for food on the table, I will sell a lot of stuff before I get to the sentimental stuff. But if I have to, I'll sell it all if I have to live. I mean, that's a totally different issue. I'm talking about today. I don't need to do that. So, and Brad didn't have to do that at all. Brad did it. No. Somebody approached. He had a picture on Instagram. The person saw it and contacted him. It was that easy.
Well, they basically made him a Godfather offer.
Yeah, made him.
It was literally an offer he couldn't refuse.
I mean, he didn't get a horse head in his bed, but he did make a great offer.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of the hobby is there is going to be different, there's your spectrum. There's your real hobby spectrum. It's like, how much value are you putting on the item versus the experience versus the chase versus all these other things. So there's different elements to it that are going to appeal to certain folks. The chase is the thing for a lot of folks. It's like the excitement is in the tracking. Hey, I've been looking for that for 15 years and I finally came across it. And that's the excitement. And then once you acquire it, you enjoy it for the moment. But I'll be completely honest, for most of the stuff, old, new, I don't care. A lot of times once I have it, okay, it's going in the box.
Well, and I mean, for all of us, it's the fishing story, right? We love to sit around and tell stories. I mean, that's how we get past talent. Let's tell stories. So the story he's got a great story.
Yep.
That is something he can remember and go back. He had that card. He's still got a great card, and he's got $5,000 in his pocket. So to me, it's a win-win-win all the way around for him. So congratulations.
I'd agree with that. Brad here saying, I don't get the been there, done that sentiment. My pleasure's in owning the card, not having once owned it. I guess I'm different than a lot of collectors. No, I think you represent more collectors than most. I think a lot of folks just like owning it. But there's also the other side. There's some folks where it's the process and doing it that's part of the enjoyment of it. It just depends. It's one of those things where there's nothing wrong with the way you're approaching it, but I'll represent the other side of that coin. Because again, once I own it, okay, I'm good. Because in a lot of cases, it's not a lot of the cards, man. I don't go back and look at them too often. Some of them I do, but a lot of them I don't. So do I keep it forever, Scott, if I haven't looked at it in 10 years? Because there's boxes of cards that I only got a chance maybe this holiday to finally go through. It's like, oh yeah, I haven't seen this in years. Huh.
Yeah. If it doesn't give me the warm fuzzies, it's going in my cell pile. I got stack here for eBay, and then I got boxes for sport lots. I'm the king of the quarter cards, man. And it's been working well for me.
Yep. Daniel says, I got 8 cards in the new CIA auction. I'm setting up a show at January 10th and 31st. Trimming the fat, selling off a lot of the extras, which is fair. I think it's valid. Well, you know what's funny, Scott, is I'm going to have an element of this, I'm hoping, before the end of the weekend, because I've been meaning to do it for weeks and I haven't gotten around to it. Brandon was nice enough to bring up to the expo a bunch of 56 tops cards that he had accumulated. Like I think he was working on the set at one point. I forget what the specifics, how he ended up with the cards. But anyway, I have a bunch that I wanted to upgrade for my set. So he literally brought me the box, and I think it was 130 cards that ended up being in the box. So I basically bought them off of him. And now I'm going to swap out the cards from the box into the binder. So it'll upgrade the set and make it look a little nicer. But then what's going to happen, Scott, I'm going to have 130 ones. They're a little bit more beat up, but I've got 130 extras kind of. Well, you think I'm just going to hang on to those forever?
Right.
They're going to go somewhere, Scott. Like I don't need it. I literally, once I swap them out, I don't need another 130. I'm not doing a second set. So they're going to go somewhere. Bobbles has said the good thing about doing YouTube videos, you have the memories of the stuff you get rid of down the road. That is true. 100%. That is true. And I do that as well with the Instagram as well, because sometimes that'll be documenting some previous pickups. Yeah. So it lets me kind of skim through and be like, yep, at one point I owned this copy. I did that with, so for the wrestling, I collect a bunch of the JC Jane stuff. I bought the one of the black finite prisms for one of the years of Prism WWE. I got what I felt was a fair price for it. I had somebody come to me, hey, would you consider, they did the whole thing. And I said, well, you're going to have to, offer. They kind of were tire kicking, whatever. But while they were doing all that, I literally put it up on eBay and somebody paid me 2.5 times what I paid for it. I was like, okay. And the other person finally came back and said, do something. Nope, you sold it, buddy. It's gone.
I got a question about that Jane later, too. Go ahead.
Sure. Quarter bin's the new favorite part of shows. Lots of nostalgia, no money involved. That's fair. That's good. You can sort through the cards. Yeah, why not? Melbourne couldn't even remember last week's sales. Got to document it, man. Document it. Let's see. Carlos wants to deal with the gold select mirror or non-mirror from the 90s. So select is a set. I'm not sure what you mean by non-mirror, but they're the mirror golds, reds, and blues. And they were basically high ratio. So it was like 1 in 199 packs for the Reds. I forget if it was the Reds or blue, which one was the tougher one. And then the gold one was like 1 in 399 packs or thereabouts. They swapped it out different years, but the very first year, the golds really aren't that crazy. The second year, 96, 97, then they were short printed. There was the print run that people thought was out there. I think there's more of them than that, but they're still fairly rare, and they were very popular. And then later on in 97, 98, then they switched over to having that for Pinnacle. So instead of being under just Select brand, it was Pinnacle. So anything beyond that, you'd have to be more specific with your question, but I'm not sure what else you're asking about that one. Stu says, twice in my life, I've sold a large part of the collection. Set runs from 68 to 80, all 4 sports. I was able to live off the money while things settled down in my life. No desire to rebuild, which is fair. You had it. You had a time with it. You did what you needed to do. You sold it. And then it may not be worth rebuilding. Everybody's going to be different. Some people will automatically run to rebuild and like, nah, I wouldn't.
I would find it hard to do it exactly the same. Then why'd you get rid of? Unless you made a bunch of money off of it, of course. But
well, listen, Nat, I'm still negotiating with Nat, Scott. I don't want to overplay my hand, but I'm just saying, Nat, come strong. A lot of zeros.
I would want to do it better or different.
Yeah, bring the zeros, Nat. All the zeros. I need all the zeros. Right at the end of the check. Okay. Let's see. Carlos, why do hockey fans appreciate the career of Dick Clapper more than wrestling fans appreciate the career of the original? Most hockey fans don't know who Dick Clapper is.
Today's wrestling fans don't know who Nature Boy Buddy Rogers is. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like reality, it's like I disagree with your sentiment. I think you're more likely to get wrestling fans to think about Buddy Rogers, but both cases, most people don't care or remember who these people are.
Yeah,
my favorite part about Dick Clapper is making fun of Eric about Dick Clapper.
The history of wrestling is lost on a lot of wrestling.
Well, it kind of predates.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of predates a lot of the era because Buddy Rogers, I want to say, I think he was on TV a little bit, but it's one of those things like he really was in the earlier era. Like in terms of, I want to say the end of his career, maybe he was on TV a little bit.
Yeah, at the end. But I mean, a lot of wrestling fans about to hearing now that, I think most historians go back to the Attitude Era. That's probably
well, it's also the era when a lot of them were watching and were alive.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's like you can hear about somebody, but like you never watch them. So it's like, so I've got in front of me here. Buddy Rogers started his career in 1939.
Right.
So you'd still be right at the beginning of World War II. And then he retired by 83. Well, I was born in 83. Right. So he was retired by the time I was born. So you have to kind of go, you have to be willing to go back, and it's entertainment. Do you really want to watch an old Buddy Rogers match? Maybe you do. I don't. There's not a lot of interest in it for me. Knowing someone else enjoying the item you had, fair. Mark, I know Dick Clapper. Listen, we know we've had a lot of Dick Clapper enjoyment on here on this channel, and including like, all right, Eric, when are we getting all the Dick Clapper cards? When's the Dick Clapper PC being built? What are we doing? Yeah, I'd say they're equally recognized. I think in their respective categories relative to each other, probably close, probably in the same ballpark. Introduced Mr. Mitt to Dick Clapper. 39 to 40 OPG said we found in Winnipeg all weekend. He asked if the sellers had Dick Clapper card. There you go. Bruno beat the shit out of Buddy. Yes, probably. Yeah, he wrestled Luthez. He wrestled a bunch of those guys. But again, kind of predates. I don't know. Listen, Brandon was probably watching. He was there in the Sportatorium. Yeah. Buddy Rogers versus Luthez.
Yeah. Holding the towel.
This is just valid right here. If your did is Clapper, you might seek medical help. That's sage advice, Paul. That's right. Sage advice. Yeah, so I always laugh because a lot of folks are like, why don't these guys know about it? Because they don't have a reason to care about it. If you have a reason, if you want to look into the history of it, there's some great story. Dan, we always joke about it, and Dan does a really good job. He likes to look into the history of a lot of the players for a lot of the cards. So that adds an element to it for him. And that's why I use TJ Maxx as a good example of this, because he's a great storyteller. He will go and talk about the players and a little bit behind. He'll show you the card or he'll show you the magazine and all that, but then also play into the story. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually really great storytelling. It's interesting.
I wouldn't know who Dick Clapper is if it wasn't for you guys making fun of, having fun with it. Yeah. So, I like it. I like hockey, but I'm not a history hockey guy. It's outside of my own history of hockey.
Yep. Okay, good night. Dick Klepper is celebrated, Hall of Famer. Is he celebrated? Are you celebrating him right now?
Yeah.
How are you celebrating him? How many fireworks have you set off? I'm just saying. I'm seeing it saying is celebrated by who? We know who he is.
Rogers too. A nicer guy couldn't have
Yep.
Yeah, I do too. But
Okay, says I brought up Dick Klepper in the chat years ago and it's like, no, it actually didn't. The only time it ever comes up is when you bring him up. Literally, it doesn't count if the only reason we mention him is because you keep bringing him up. None of us even thought about him until you brought him up again.
so hockey is the Dick Clacker Clapper what Cap Anson is to Ed. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Or what Jason Robertson is to Brandon.
There you go.
See, this is a veiled attempt by Hockey to try to boost Dick Clapper sales, because otherwise everybody's like, who?
Oh,
And then they have to Google him.
yeah, the Google.
It's like Dick Clapper sounds like a disease.
Then they start looking him up on the eBays, and Hockey has got him cornered on the market there.
That's what I'm saying. All they did was buy him. Bob Jackson says, wrestling fans mostly know the old names of WFE has told them are important for the last 30 or 40. Yes. So when WWE started their Hall of Fame thing, they would throw in some of the old timers. So you kind of have to kind of be like, okay, yeah, that's basically what you did back in the day.
Well, in this area, it's this. I moved into a huge wrestling area, not only NASCAR, but wrestling. So all the greats wrestled here. Greensboro is one of the most recognized wrestling venues in the world. So down here, it's a way of life. I was the same way in Virginia. The Richmond, they had a place in Richmond that was well known. They got tore down. It was a big deal. That was the two places. So
Nice. I like it.
but wrestling around here is huge.
I believe it.
EWA Mid-Atlantic.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. There's certain areas that are historically known, and then some of those ones. So for those ones, you'll have a lot more of a fan base for the independents. So like you'll have like wrestling cards all the time in these different places. It's like towns that have like big for minor league baseball. They'll be like, oh, we're like for the town, people go out. They'll go and check out the games. They'll hang out. That'll be part of it.
Yeah, that's good. Good point.
Yeah, Mark Hall says the Triple WF started because Thez wouldn't wrestle Rogers. I appreciate the Triple WF reference. You gotta have Triple W, then Senior. The Golden Federation, the Federation years. I said Dick Clapper is more akin to Jim Londo's than Buddy Rogers. Damn, we're digging deep. I like it. I like it, Bob.
It's gonna make me have to get the Googles out.
I think that was the point that Bob was trying to get at. He's like just trying to find. He's like, listen, I like to think of Dick Clapper as kind of the Repo Man. I like to think on that level. That's where I got it. Fondly remembered by those who know, and by everybody else is like, who? The Repo Man. Trust me, guys, it was amazing.
Well, you know who's been at shows. There is a character that's been at shows now signing the character, one of the most failed characters of all time. He was he only came out one time, fell through the wall, had the mask on.
Oh, the Shockmaster? The Shockmaster?
Yeah, Shockmaster. They've been having him at shows signing autographs. I don't know if he's wearing the costume or what, because it's a wrestler, but I can't remember the wrestler's name that did that one. But yeah,
That was the same guy who did. He was one of the natural disasters. I think it was Typhoon.
Yeah, I think.
Or no, it was Earthquake. I think it was Earthquake.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
Typhoon
Yeah.
was, I think, Hakeem or whatever.
No. So Akeem was the one man gang.
Oh, there you go. I get them all those big guys confused.
Yeah. So I listen. The Shockmaster. I'm trying to get it at the right price, Scott. I actually want one of the Shockmaster autographs because Panini did create them, and I was like, no, I want one because I remember the Shockmaster thing, and it was gold.
Yes.
Gold.
Yes.
Yeah. Earthquake was John Tenta. Tugboat was Typhoon. So was it Typhoon or was it Tenta who did the Shockmaster? Refresh my memory because I know it was one of them. I'm just trying to remember if it was Tugboat or if it was Earthquake. or typhoon or earthquake, basically. I know it's one of the natural disasters. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. YouTube Wrestling Federation starting soon. Big Sky book for the first pay-per-view. Remember to have a foreign object. You know what would be great if you had a YouTube Wrestling Federation, though? Bob Boozle's indirectly. Here's my fantasy booking. We'll have a YouTube Wrestling Federation, and you'll be Big Scott 35. And then the first opportunity we get, you will turn on Ed and clock him with a Cap Anson statue. That will be how the feud begins.
I told you I went to the Hall of Fame and I texted him like me caressing the Cap Anson plaque.
This is what I'm saying. I think it'd be amazing. The gimmick, Scott, could be that you have a replica plaque with you, and every time you win one match against Ed, it's that you use the Cap Anson Hall of Fame plaque as your weapon. Stu says Bronco Nagurski is the Gordy Howe of hockey. There's some reference. Baseball's better days. We have Dick Pole and Rusty Kuntz in baseball. You do. Yep. So I'll scroll through here. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So moving on. We used to get the mini wrestling cards in our chips back in the early late 80s. So I think we showed some of those. Those are fun. The mini ones are good. Tugboat was Shockmaster. Thank you. This audience knows it, Scott. So if you got a reference, just throw it out. The chat knows.
Yeah.
The chat knows. Just ask them. They'll tell you. Natural disasters. That's right. Tugboat. Thank you. Look at the old wrestling programs. 48 Buddy Rogers, Texan Youth versus Gino Dagnone, Ohio Speed Merchant. There you go. There's some nicknames. Fred Ottman, Big Scott, Big Ken, Big Bry. 3-man tag team champs like the Freebirds. Damn. Big trouble. They are no terrorizing. That is true.
Yeah, little trivia for you. The Freebirds are known as the first group to come down with music. I don't know how true that is, but they've been notarized as the first group to come down with music.
Yeah, when it comes to wrestling history, the problem with wrestling in a lot of cases, Scott, is that basically the way you know a professional wrestler is lying is if his mouth is moving and sounds are coming up. So you just assume they're like, no, I was the first. It's like you weren't born until 1995. It's like, well, he's a professional wrestler, so he lies. Everybody lies.
One of the greatest, like back when WWE was on, they had their own thing. You could pay $9 a month and get all there. They had the rise and fall of the Texas Stampede or whatever it was called.
The WWE Network. The WWE Network.
So that was in that part because it was it brought back. I was 8 years old again. Felt like watching that. So I started wanting to jump off of furniture and stuff, doing elbows.
Well, I think the only problem with a lot of it is that a bunch of those are like WWE documentaries, and I'm sitting there like, I don't know if I trust you guys to be the historians.
No, this wasn't a WWE. It was when because they bought all the, because you can go there and watch old matches and stuff from them. And
yeah,
it wasn't a WWE produced one. It was just one of the things they bought when they bought all the backlog of them. So
okay, so you're saying it wasn't a documentary. You're saying it was some of the old matches, like some of the old shows.
No, it was a documentary. It was just not WWE. WWE just owned it. It wasn't WWE.
So they already had a documentary then?
Yeah, it was a documentary that was already made. The rise and fall of. It was older.
Okay.
They had a whole bunch of them. Now some of them are like the rise and fall of ECW and some of those other.
I remember that one. Yeah. I think I have that one on DVD. But it's one of those things. Whenever it's a WWE thing, it's always slanted and is slated in such a way.
Yes.
But that's why I say, guys, you realize you're always full of shit. It's the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior is still my favorite.
Right. They didn't paint Senior in a good picture in this one. That's why I kind of know it wasn't a WWE.
Yeah. Bob Jackson says Brian and the red button on a pole match. Yes. I'm tired of Big Scott talking about all this outlaw mud show wrestling. Beautiful Bobby Eaton would never be part of such a show, damn it. That's right, Bob Bizzle. That's right. Atomic Blondes versus Nagurski and Gagne. Vern Gagne? Amazing. Special times, Scott. Special times. Let me tell you. Special times.
Sorry we went down the wrestling rabbit hole there for a second.
No, listen, the chat knows, man. You see from there? They got references.
Yeah.
We always roll with whatever the chat wants to do. That's why I was kind of have a little bit of fun with it. Here we go. Yeah, the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. I love, this is the reason I like to use this example. This is WWE in a nutshell. They had the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, which was the most unintentionally hilarious and glorious. It's like you were literally just burying this dude. Now, by the way, I think the Ultimate Warrior shit personally. Like, I actually never liked his style. Like, it was garbage to me. But they went out of their way to bury this. They're like, whatever angle, like, the man was a piece of trash. But they're like, no, you don't understand. He's like the worst human being that ever lived, per the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. And then later on, it's like, he comes back. They do a Legends deal with him and all that. It's like, the Ultimate Warrior is a great guy. He's going to the WWE Hall of Fame. It's like, wait, are we forgetting the entirety of this entire DVD that you made?
Yeah. I
never happened.
Never a huge WWE. It was too cartoonish for me. I never really, when WWF was not for me.
Yep, it's true. So the t-shirt deal that cost AWA Hulk Hogan by Vern Gagne. Yes. Hockey fans all love wrestling. I would like that to be true. That'd be amazing. But I know there's a bunch of them that, like, it's entertainment. I always laugh, Scott, because it's like, at the end of this entertainment. You know what I watched? You know what I watched yesterday? I watched episode 3 of season 2 of Fallout. Great show. I have fun. I enjoy it. It's good. But imagine if somebody walked around and go, Ella Purnell. It's like you're not really from a vault. This is fake. It's like, it's a TV show. It's a scripted television show. What? Walter Goggins, you're not a ghoul. You're idiots. Like, what are you talking about? It's a TV show.
Yes, I agree. Somebody told it's fake. Yes, I do.
It's a television show. It's a television show.
Yeah, I like it for the plot. Yeah.
It's like, that's all it is. It's a TV show. It doesn't apply under any different rules.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fake. It's fake because they know the outcome, but it's not fake because of gravity. But go ahead. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that there was the same thing. One of the things I was watching this holiday is that I found a YouTube channel that actually had, speaking of ECW, they had their run at the tail end on TNN.
Right.
And as part of that, they were part of a block of like action, different shows. One of them was Rollerjam. I loved Rollerjam. Rollerjam, though, is trash. Just to be clear, it's trash.
That's the one that had they could go up the the high jump, like it had the high walls, like the really high walls.
No. The Rollerjam was literally roller derby. It was just roller derby it was roller derby with like the rejects from WWE's writing room.
Right.
The entire basically the first season they tried to play it almost straight. They tried to be like, yeah, this is like roller derby. Okay. And then you go forward to season 2, they get an evil authority figure commissioner. And then from season 2 on, it just gets wackier and wackier and sillier as you go forward. And by season 4, literally you had no joke, you had a guy who called himself the Prophet from the moral authority who was trying to clean up roller derby from its impurity. And he literally kidnapped people. And I'm sitting there like, this is ridiculous. I'm amused, but it's stupid.
And I don't remember that vividly, but I remember that show. I remember watching it.
Scott, I will send you the YouTube link. It's on YouTube. The entire series is now on YouTube, every season. I will send you to season 4, and it gets batshit ridiculously stupid by season 4. And I'm like, that's amazing. It's just terrible and amazing. Did I mention and amazing? But it's awful writing. Like it's the worst acting ever.
Right.
It's so bad. Oh man. All right. Did you read James Dixon's Titan Shrinking? I might have seen I think they had a series of the books, actually. Rollerjam is amazing to watch. It's jokes, man. It's jokes. I love it. Scott, for the benefit of the people in the replay, I will include a link to this YouTube channel and the playlist for Rollerjam. Have fun. They got all 4 seasons, and they also got all the different specials and everything included in there. The first season, they kind of just play it straight, but season 2 and beyond, literally you've got like, all right, and he attacks him with a bench. Like, we're not even trying to, like, literally, like, it's like, and he jumps off the rail and does like a Superman and then does a splash. And it's like, that isn't really roller derby, but sure. And literally it's like, oh, so what's the signature move? It's like, it's a suplex, dude. They're on rollerblades and they do a suplex.
So
that's what it is.
It sounds like the announcers from Glow were doing it.
It's incredible. It's sensational. So it's so bad and so good. I live a mile from Baron von Ratschke. He was Mr. Ratschke. He was a substitute teacher. There you go. Rollerjam either before or after DCW was it was amazing. It was terrible and amazing. The conspiracy is Vince had Warrior killed the next day. Maybe. There was a Rollerjam guy that reminded me of Goldberg. Oh, Mark D'Amato? He was the captain. He was the leader of the New York Enforcers. And what's funny is that Mark D'Amato was actually an OG roller derby guy. Like he actually was a legit, because there were a few folks when they came out with that in the late 90s. There were a couple of them that were actually a legit roller derby guys from the previous iteration, because they've tried to put roller derby on TV multiple times.
Yeah.
Different eras.
It was pretty big in the 70s, late 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, and Mark D'Amato actually passed away, I think, in 2002. So it was not long after the series ended. But he had a long history with roller derby going back in the day. So
Actually,
here, I think that
some actual roller derby women in Cleveland. One of my best friends, I went there for my birthday one year.
yeah. I assume this is the guy you're talking about. Dude's actually pretty jacked, even like at the tail end there. But like I said, he was a guy who was in roller derby back in the day, and I think he was doing it in the 80s. So it's one of those ones where he was in the previous iteration of, I think it was called Roller Games. I think in the 80s it was called Roller Games, and there were a couple of folks that came over from that. Girls still do Rollerjam in the Maritimes. Roller derby still exists. Like it's still out there.
I hung out with some women at roller derby in Cleveland at a bar. Yeah, they invited me and my friends to come watch them. It's like, oh, okay. I didn't go. Amazing. But I didn't get to see it.
I do wish that show had lasted a little bit longer, because the amount of entertainment value. I would have loved fantasy booking Rollerjam, because it was scripted. Like every single game of Rollerjam, one team would get way ahead, and then the other team would make a gigantic comeback. Towards it, and either sometimes they would catch all the way up, and sometimes they would falter short. But they would there were very few blowouts in Rollerjam, Scott. Very few. A handful in the early seasons, but later on it got close. Almost every game was within a couple points. By what a coincidence! No matter how far somebody got ahead. I'd say all the roids and Warrior losing his mind the night before Raw might have done it. Dude looked bad. Yeah.
He I thought he was gonna explode there when he ran out that way.
Yeah, he didn't last very long after that. I watched the roller derby with my grandmother. She thought it was real. It's real to me, damn it. Thank you, Mark. My first impersonata was Jim the King Trotter. Philadelphia Warriors roller derby. The ticket stub is somewhere. Nice. Nice.
That's awesome.
Mad Dog Vachon lost a leg to a hidden run near his home in Carter Lake. I'm guessing that's Iowa, IA?
Yeah, that's Iowa. Stukes in Minnesota. Well, Minneapolis is big for roller derby, wrestling, all that type of stuff. So that area.
I love it. Amazing. So good. But that's the thing, Scott. It was like that was my favorite, because I would watch that back to back. It was either like before or after. I think ECW was first, and then it would roll into Rollerjam. And I was saying, this is so bad. This is good. But I would literally watch it. It's like, no, I'm enjoying this. It's ridiculous. It's stupid, but I like it. Minnesota. There you go, Bob Jackson. All right, folks. So we'll do maybe another couple of minutes. We'll wind her down. Like I said, it's going to be a shorter episode than normal. We're kind of just chilling, hanging out. I appreciate some Rollerjam nostalgia. I'm feeling the nostalgia. I'm feeling it's good. My only regret is that they never made cards.
We're going way back.
Listen, man. Scott, seriously. Again, I joke about Big Bri and his damn leaf, and the fact that they can, because they're unlicensed, they can do all kinds. Listen, I want a Rollerjam set. Give me a Rollerjam set. Let's go. I would collect that shit. I would.
You know, Tops did a cornhole set. I mean, anything can happen.
This is what I'm trying to get. Look, there's two things. So number one, Rollerjam, I would totally love it, but it would be super niche. But you know what you could do, and I've said this multiple times, and because I think they're going to bring it back again. You could totally have somebody do a set for American Gladiators, because you got multiple versions of the Gladiators.
There's a rumor that's coming back on.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're going to do it again. And the thing is, you've still got folks around from the 2008 version, so you could totally have cards and like autographs for those folks because they're still around. So like, why not? It's free money. Just take it. Hell, if you want, Scott, the one of the UK gladiators from the revival, from the second series, because when America had its revival, the UK one also had a revival, and Australia had a revival, and all of them. Well, from the UK one of the guys there is Nick Aldis, who is the general manager in WWE. He was Oblivion, who was in American UK Gladiator.
I've seen pictures of him. Yeah.
So you could totally get him to do autographs for that set if you wanted to, and there you go. It would still be under the Gladiators theme.
Yeah, because that's Mickey James's husband, right?
Correct.
Oh yeah.
So he's around. He could totally sign for it. It would be totally doable.
I don't know why he's not wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah. MXC was another one around that time. Yes. Every celebrity golf tournament had several wrestlers. I was on Jumpin' Jim Brunzell's team. There's a reference for you. The Killer Bees. Nick Bockwinkel gave me a golf bag at one tourney. Yes. Bruce Louis, the damn sweatshirt. Louis from Minnesota. So. Just for you, Louis. Just for you. Extreme Championship shuffleboard idea from Don Callis. Eric would dominate. Be amazing. Tennis ball cannon was cool when I was a kid. Yes, the American Gladiators one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No doubt. Bob Jackson, are you building any wrestling sets, Carlos? Just focusing on the specific wrestler. Mostly specific wrestlers, although the new SP game used, I actually like the way the base set looks. I kind of want to do the base set. And they're actually tough to get because you only get a couple of base cards per pack. So in reality, it's going to be a little more expensive, but I actually I wouldn't mind having it. It's like 100 cards. It's totally doable. Just got to seek out the singles and a little bit of grouping. Sweats, Duke. Good pack. Give me Rollerjam X curling. Amazing.
I'm going for the metal complete base set, like with all the inserts and everything. Just the base.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not doing the retro?
Man, I opened, I don't know, about half a case, and I've gotten only 3.
Oh, okay. And this is for the newer metal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the newer it's a little tougher. I was because in the original set they had the 97, 98 design, and you could do. I think it was like 50 cards. It wasn't that bad if somebody wanted to have because there were enough of them per box that you could get a couple.
Now I did get a Daniel Bryan red PMG for that.
Nice.
That's graded right now.
Yep. They added, so for anybody that wants to chase them, they also have a magenta PMG, and that's e-pack exclusive. It's they're basically ones that you can chase. They've started to appear on COMC, and as a result, they're also getting on eBay. They're not numbered, so they're not as tough as the reds or the greens, just to be clear. But they're by achievements only. You have to fulfill the different categories of them. So it depends on how many people actually do what's required in order to get them. So they are out there, but I wouldn't overpay for them. But they are nice cards. They're actually pretty nice looking. I'll see if I can show you. I won one of them off of a COMC auction, just to give you an idea what it looks like. And it'll be obviously better in hand. Once I get it in hand, I'll show it better and I can put it on a video. But basically that's what it looks like. So it's magenta, and they have the retro style, but in a magenta. And they do label it as a PMG, but it's not numbered. So these ones are out there. There is a mini checklist of those for the retro style.
Yeah, that upper deck E-Pack, I still think they're loaded back. I bought one today and did very well again. It's just every time I'm like,
Scott, did you miss though? We had a little bit of fun with him. So Billy was on the New Year's Eve live with us. He was hanging out. And he likes to, so the rule, so just so everybody knows, the rules are if you're working upper deck, you cannot sell cards. You can still collect if you want. You can collect whatever you want. And you can buy stuff and do whatever you want like anybody else. You can collect anything you like. You're a collector, go ahead, have fun. But you can't sell the cards. That's kind of part of the deal. So what happens is if he ever wants to do any deals with anybody, he's got to figure out, he can do trades. Like he can be like, I've got these cards and I can trade you this for this, be it e-pack or in person or whatever. Like, so you can still do deals, but I can go like, I can give you some cash and here's some cards and do a deal, but you cannot sell the cards. You have to be like, you can buy, you can trade, but you cannot sell. So, but he opens up a lot of the e-pack thing because while we were hanging out on the New Year's Eve, he was opening e-pack stuff from metal. And towards the tail end, when Dan and I was on with him, he pulled a Sheeta retro gold PMG 101. And I was literally like with Dan, I was like, so first copy scandal, we didn't even make it 90 minutes. Upper Deck employee pulls 101 PMG in e-pack. Scandalous.
Yeah. But I mean, I did get Renee, the announcer. It's
Renee Paquette.
Yeah.
I like by the way that you added an R to her name. You said Parquet. She is Parquet. Yeah, there's no R.
Hey, you know how I am with names, man. I got it right at all. Got it close.
Yeah, Dan totally right. Exactly. Dan was there.
Totally right.
Billy was trying to cover his tracks, Scott. Billy was trying to cover his tracks, but I'm just saying, 101.
Yeah, I do very well on it. I almost don't want to buy any more stuff regularly. I just buy it.
So this is a conversation that I've had with him. It's a bit of a chicken or the egg situation because there are so many good cards on the e-pack product. It kind of creates, some people are like literally starting to feel that way, and it is actually preventing some of the physical boxes from getting open. Which, Scott, ironically, means that there are some good cards in the physical boxes that are not getting pulled because people are thinking, oh, it's got to be all in the e-pack. So that's why I was saying, like, my recommendation was, and I'll do probably a video this year in the other channel. I go, well, look, I would do a 1 or 2 e-pack exclusive products. That way you can still give the e-pack folks something to chase and have fun with. But I would do a couple of sets that don't have the e-pack. Like I would actually go and this one's available, all physical, just straight up. Whatever's in there is in the boxes, all of it. So you open the boxes, you get all the stuff, period. And that way you don't give people that impression that, oh no, the real hits are an e-pack. It's like, that's problematic because then people are like, well, then what's the point of me opening the physical boxes?
The other thing is you like, I've done it twice now where I got enough, I know 3 times I've done enough trades and got enough cards to consolidate them to make a silver or rainbow or something, whatever it combines into. You know, you can't do that. Right? You can't buy a box and do that. So, you know, that's the other plus on the e-packs. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's why I thought it funny, kind of to the same vein though. And I joked with Dan at the same time we were doing that. It's like, look, I can't say too much, Scott, because in the first year of Metal Universe, I opened 5 packs of e-pack in the first day that it was available. 5 packs, just not a full box, 5 packs. In the 5 packs, I pulled an Adam Cole Gold PMG. So, and then I sent a text message. I go, good job, Billy, for pushing the button. Hashtag rigged. So, Scott, I can't say anything. If you're part of the machine, you're part of the machine. What are you going to do?
Right.
You know, but that's what I say. You're always going to get that accusation, though. That I joke with them and I go, guys, you're creating this. People will accuse because the thing is, here's what I think, Scott, and this is ironically the way that e-pack is configured actually makes this more possible. And here's why. In the physical boxes, you've got all the odds, right? So what you do is you set up basically this card sorter. So when you're doing the packs, you're like, okay, so these are the case hits. So you want to be approximately 1 per case. Well, the only way, Scott, you can kind of guarantee that you're going to get 1 per case is the feeder has to make sure it only dispenses them once every certain number of boxes. No more, no less. That way, otherwise you wind up with a case where you've got the case hits in every single box and that's screwy and that'll mess everything up. So you got to separate it to make sure it doesn't do that. Well, Scott, imagine though, an e-pack, that isn't the case. It's digital. So you can say 1 per case, Scott. But if I only buy 5 packs, it's like each pack, it's not like you're opening a digital box and pulling 5 packs. Each pack is an independent thing.
Right.
So I could totally pull a case hit in 5 consecutive packs, and that's totally possible because you're basically resorting it every time. So that's how I can see how it would be very easy to be like, no, you're gonna go on a run. Guaranteed. There's going to be runs where suddenly you're pulling a bunch of crazy cards all at once. Like, oh, I opened 5 packs and I pulled 2 case hits and an autograph and this thing. And then somebody else will be like, if you open a box, you're guaranteed to get a box hit. You open a case, you're guaranteed to get a case hit. But if you're opening a couple of packs at a time, you could either get a crazy amount of stuff, or you could do 5 packs at a time and get nothing but base for the equivalent of multiple boxes. And you're like, oh shit, I should have gotten some. But you're opening 5 packs at a time. You're not opening box at a time.
Right.
So it'll
I
go
don't
both
like
ways.
you can't get the base. You got to combine them. That's the only thing I don't like, because I like to have.
Well, for the digital one, having that base sitting around, what are you going to do with it?
Oh, for them, I know it's not.
Yeah,
Economical.
because you're actually sending to ComC in a warehouse, Scott.
right.
Because if you do the physical, then they're sitting, and you have to look at once EPAC comes out, even some of the inserts, you can go on ComC right now and get a bunch of those inserts for like 40 cents. People are literally selling them like below cost just to get them out the door. So now imagine the base card. What are you gonna pay somebody to take them from you?
Yeah, I get that. But I mean, it's like personally, I wish.
I get
a collector. I'm a player collector, so that's the one thing that keeps me from buying a box, because then I got all these base cards. A couple of them I like to have. I can't have them. So
yeah. The irony is even the elevated version of it, when you combine it, even those are pretty cheap. Like once EPAC comes out, even then those are cheap, and they're at least a little bit more limited because you have to combine the base in order to get the card. So there's less of them out there, but it's not enough less to make the price go anywhere. And people are like dumping those. They basically will do the combine and be like, here you go, $1.
yeah,
Okay, great. Sounds good. That's cheap enough. So I don't know. It's one of those things where like, I like the concept of it. Some of it works. I do think you should have exclusives. I'd rather have just do the physical for certain ones and just do an EPAC exclusive. So I think we'll go with it. Let's see. Okay, I guess it's Carlos. What do you think when you hear people say buying and flipping on ComC is easy? It is. It's not difficult. It's pretty easy.
you mean
I
like,
think they are stating something that is correct.
are you saying easy to make money or easy?
All it said was easy. No, it couldn't be easier.
I mean,
It couldn't be easier.
I mean, that's what ComC's set up for. They're not. They really wish you wouldn't have them delivered to you. They wish you keep them on there so they can make money on every flip.
Yeah. So I think they're speaking truth. Now, if you're saying profitably, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
For some, it is doable, but it's not as easy. But buying and flipping could be easier. Piece of cake. You push a couple buttons. That's all you got to do. That sounds pretty easy to me, Scott.
Move it from somebody else's inventory to your inventory, and then you set a new price on it. I mean,
Yes.
that's all you.
And that can work. Like it is like there are folks that will list stuff at a wrong price. If you know what you're doing and you see it, you come across it. I've had no problem. That's been a thing. I also, some folks now, even if you don't want to flip it, I see some folks that misprice it on the sale price, and you can get some steals. Now, some people go the other way. Some people put a ridiculous price on it. It's like, yeah, nobody's going to buy it. Sorry. You can leave it there as long as you want. But other folks literally don't know. Oh, well, actually, that's a short print. So you just put it on for $20. Well, all right, I'll buy that. Thank you.
Well, you got to think too. Like a lot of people will get the cards early, set their prices, and then a player goes on like when Cal Riley first came up, nobody thought he was going to be the guy that as good as he is. So his stuff went up pretty fast over the last year and a half, especially this year. So people might have not have went in and changed their prices to keep up with the player, right? Whatever they're doing. So it's a good way to jump on things like that. You're exactly right. But
yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I just don't have the time, or I would do. I sent in something I didn't do well. I don't know how to really attack that. I know other people have done well on it. It's not for me. Buying is fine. I just selling on that platform is not for me.
The pricing is everything. It just depends on what you list it at, because some stuff. So that's why I say like it depends on the item. So I'll give you an example. I just opened up my ComC page. By the way, folks, a couple of minutes and then we'll wind her down. And then, like I was being serious, this week we're going to do a little shorter episode because I want to go do some sorting and take care of a couple of things. But that said, you're more than welcome. If you saw earlier, Eric was on here earlier. He did the bicycling during the New Year's. We were doing a charity drive and for the Ray Bourque Foundation. And they have a variety. Again, you can always check. If you expand it, you can see exactly what the foundation is. You can actually see the website. Take a look at the website, have a look at it and see if anything that there catches your ear. And otherwise you can donate through there or through Eric's PayPal, which is scrolling at the bottom. But what I was going to say was, yeah, I went onto my ComC just to take a look. And perfect example. There was a O-Pee-Chee Platinum 2122 Blue Surge of Jonas Ronberg. I have no idea who that is. But I pulled him in a blaster box. So I had that. So I actually submitted that in ComC for the 50 cents at the time. That's what the intake fee was. And it sold today for $3.75. So with fees, I made $3.56 on a card that literally would have been sitting in a box collecting dust otherwise. That's where ComC is at its best because I priced it reasonably. I said, put $3.75 on it, less than $4. Go ahead. We're good. So I was like, great. Sounds awesome. So for me, it was like, all right, $3.56 in credit for me to buy something else. Great. Other stuff. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a place to put it because on eBay, it wouldn't make sense to sell it. So what happens. Good evening, Lapper. Happy New Year. Let's see here. ComC needs to be able to add best offer via eBay. Well, that would be an integration with eBay. That'd be tough to do. They could create the listings. I just don't know if they would be able to do the best offer because you'd be doing the best offer on eBay and have it somehow transfer over to the other side. It's like, then you'd have to set on ComC. You'd have to actually be able to set what best offer you would take. And ComC's back end is so clunky. That would be, I think that would break about 50 different ways. It'd be funny, but it would break it. I'll rewind after the end and catch up to the first half hour. Absolutely. Absolutely. So last thoughts from anybody? Should we get any other cards done? We've already established Rollerjam needs to be a thing. We need the American Gladiator set. I don't know. Is there any other properties that we need to include? Yep. ComC wants to drive users to the site. Yes. The funny thing is for the buy it now, a bunch of the buy it nows that you'll see on eBay, you can go on to ComC and you can make a best offer on there if you want.
The one benefit of buying it on eBay, you might pay a little bit more, but you get it in 3 days.
You do? You do? They have to. They're required to ship it faster.
That's the upside. Yeah. They can do it on eBay, but if you buy it from them, 3 months, but 3 days if you buy it on eBay.
That'll be one of the... So, Scott, actually, I'll finish on this because this actually leads me down a good thought. What is the main things that are going to come up at the beginning of the year? Because what I mean by that is the ComC thing is going to be an interesting thing. Probstein still hasn't said anything about the issue with Snipe. So we'll see if in the first couple of months of the year he's forced to, because now enough time has gone by where any statute of limitations, any time period, because if you have an issue, a data leak or anything, there's a certain amount of time where you're supposed to actually say it. Now, different jurisdictions have different amount of time that you have. Sometimes you're given a little bit of grace. You don't have to say it right that moment. But now we're approaching enough time where it's like, actually, you probably need to say something. Otherwise, people can start challenging you legally. Because if they decide they want to do that, hey, what's going on with this? Then you could run into some trouble. That's a different thing. We'll see. I miss Eric. At least someone does. I don't miss Eric. See? We've got contrasting views.
I'm sorry, Dan. I'm trying to fill in the best I can. Sorry.
Dan just wants to try to find an angle for Dan from Saugus to get back in. We'll find out. In the US, you get it quick and cheap. In Canada, you have to pay $16 to buy a single card. Lapper, that's not true. You know why I know it's not true? My current ComC one, I am having sent to my US address. And right now, I will update. I initiated this on December 11th. And right now, they're saying estimated ship date, March 4th. So not true. Not quick and not cheap. Lies, Lapper. Lies.
I was going to say, my friends get it. And that's the one thing that keeps me away.
That used to be true. It used to be true. It was true.
it's the one thing that keeps me away, and I don't know why, because I don't buy for any reason but to put my PC. So I don't know why I'm stressed out if it takes 3 months to get it. I wait that long to get a card graded. I don't understand. So
So I think there is. So I'll tell you this. I believe that will eventually be corrected. The problem is this: they don't talk. It's the communication thing that I was talking about earlier. Because they don't talk, they leave it open-ended and they create more problems for themselves. It's like, you would actually be good to be like, if you're having a challenge, get out there and tell people. Say it. Don't sit around and be like, wait until everybody sees their estimated ship date gets bumped months, and then they start complaining to you. And then you have to explain it one by one. Or you could just say something yourselves and be done with it. 2026 prediction, ComC sells. It's possible. It's in play. That's a prediction. Eric will return next week wearing an $1,154 fur coat. I love it.
but who buys them? Fanatics or collectors?
Listen, I like to think that big Pokemon 35, Scott with all his Pokemans monies, all of a sudden he's got like, what do you want, Comsey? Making an offer. Sanders Fedor says Eric sucks. Facts. Carlos, you're not having it shipped to Canada? No. It's cheaper if I have it sent over to Ship My Cards. And then Ship My Cards gets the package. And when Ship My Cards gets the package shot, then I have the whole thing sent to me consolidated with my other stuff. That's a US-based address. I can just use it and send it there and then have the bigger package sent to me with the rest of it consolidated. Heading to the US for 1 month vacation soon. I'll pack my box of cards and ship them to ComC while I'm there. You can. Baboozle is on to Eric. I know. I feel bad for ComC. I've been a member since 2014 and feel like some people just don't get it. Grab a bunch of cards over time. I've had cards there for years, but I have it. It's fair. It's worked well for me. For a lot of things, they've had their different challenges with getting stuff done quickly. But it does. That's why I said I used the example of that sale from a moment ago. There is no other place I have other than like at a card show. If I set up at a card show and have like a bargain bin or something, I could move a card like that. But outside of that, Scott, I don't have a place to do it. You know, eBay, you know, what's the envelope thing? White envelope service or whatever it is, the $20 one. That we don't have that option. So if I want to send it, I have to be like, no, look, I'll put it in a padded mailer, but it's going to cost $7. Well, for a $4 card or a $5 card, that makes no sense. No one would want to buy that. For bigger stuff, yeah, sure. No problem. But for a lot of the other stuff, it's not going to work.
Yeah, when I'm buying my cheap stuff on eBay, if it's not $1.30 something, I pass it by.
Exactly. So if you want to be competitive and you actually want to offer somebody something that somebody will sell, there's a bunch of cards that are in that $5-ish range that ComC has been perfect for. Even with a 65-cent intake, because they bumped it up, it totally works. Because if it's like a $4 card, I'm still getting like most of that $4 as opposed to it gathering dust in a box. That's what I want to use it for. And if I've got $10 cards or whatever, even better. Then you get a little more out of it. Work around the US address as well. Be a courier, pick it up for $50. Works out cheaper when there's a volume card. Exactly. The volume is the key. And I'm looking forward to, I'm going to have a Ship My Cards package probably before the end of the month. I'm waiting for one more item to come in. And then I'll have a nice, you know, basically a box. And I'll have them send me the whole box. And we'll do it that way. PWE. Brad here says 2026 prediction. PSA no longer offers a guarantee. SGC did it years ago and there were no consequences. It's the interesting choice. Interesting choice. I don't know if they would get rid of the guarantee. I don't think they're going to bump it up very much, but I like the prediction. I like that you're sticking your neck out there for it. Ship My Cards works for me. That's what I'm using. Yep. So is Eric not here because he's watching the Duke's Mailable? Yes. It is his passion in life.
And trying
coffee how many
first time.
Go ahead.
And trying coffee for the first time.
That's right. Lapper says it would shock you how many times I sell cards that are 3 to 10 that people pay $3.99 shipping on. That doesn't shock me, but here's my question. When you're doing $3.99 shipping, how are you sending it to them? If it's stateside, what are you using?
Yeah.
Are you putting it into a plain white envelope or are you actually putting it into a boat mailer?
Yeah, you get a negative review from me if you do that. I've done it in the past. So.
Yeah. So that'd be my question. For $4, what are you actually shipping them in? Because that's a question. Because as soon as I put it in a plain white envelope, then I need to either put a label on it or fill in customs. Well, that's in Canada. I'm not talking about Canada. I'm talking about cross-border shipping. In Canada, that's fine. That part I'm not worried about. But then I'm limiting my audience. I'd rather have both. I'd rather have the biggest audience I can get. That's why I put the $7 shipping on there, because the $7 shipping, Scott, I can do it with tracking. So if it's like a $20 card, whatever, a lot of people will be like, yeah, all right, fine. As long as I'm getting tracking, I go, you're getting tracking.
Yep.
Okay, fine. Then they'll do it.
Yep.
Understand how ComC can warehouse every single card and why they accept every single card. Think it's true they'll be out of business by mid-2026? No. They'll get bought before that. Really scares me the ComC talk like it might go away. I don't think it will.
They got so many. They're partnered with so many different people, like different companies, where it's just tough for me to think that they just go away.
Well,
you know?
eBay literally invested in them.
Yeah,
eBay's literally paid into them.
And then you got Upper Deck uses them. Got grading companies that are partnered with them. What does the business plan got to do for them to stick around, to be okay? I don't know.
I think it's going to require a change in the efficiency of the shipping department, so to speak. Because Scott, what we're really talking about is we're talking about processing and we're talking about shipping. Because if the items go out faster, like when you do want to ship it, if it goes out faster, then you basically then no one's really complaining. And really, the only reason that the whole ComC rumor started and people were concerned about it, multiple things can be true at the same time. Once you get into holiday season, more people are transacting. That's all happening. Yeah, so right here, Bob Jackson. They're processing shipping as their bottleneck. Yes, because it's people intensive. It's actually labor intensive. Imagine sending out thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of packages constantly. Because go to eBay and check how many things are under ComC, Scott. Buy it nows and auctions. They've got thousands and thousands and thousands of auctions going simultaneously. And then every single one of those things, to your point, Scott, if you buy it on eBay and pay for it on eBay, they have to ship it within 3 days. So those packages got to go right out the front door, quick. They can't afford to delay or wait or whatever. These other packages, then you're going in and you're grabbing all these packages, you're picking them all from that. It takes time. It's slow. Because it's like, if you're buying one thing on eBay, you only got to grab one thing, put it into one envelope, slap a label on it and send it. That still takes time, but it's a lot quicker than it is. All right, Scott, we've got 40 different items. Okay, 30 of them are at that end of the warehouse. 10 of them are at that end of the warehouse. So you got to go pick all that stuff. That's not quick. And the machines haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I would love to see how their process is for picking cards for somebody's, shipments. That would be, don't show me how big your facility is. Show me how things work in your facility. Like, how does
you want to see the one guy going in a walker?
There's one guy riding around in a little buggy pulling these cards. It's kind of hard for me to imagine it. And then scanning every one of them and doing all that.
That's what I'm saying. You're creating this labor intensive thing because each one of those items have the thing with the little barcode, because each one is an individual SKU. It's not like, okay, so we've got all these singles, and if you buy one, they'll just grab one off the pile. Each one is its own thing.
Yeah, you got to get the right one. And
then you bought the fourth one from the top, so they got to specifically go grab the fourth one from the top, not the third one, not the fifth one, the fourth one. And that's the one you bought, so they have to give you the one you actually purchased.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah. Lay people off. Which department though? Hockey. Because that's basically it was Eric. It was those back pages who kind of spread that rumor. And here's the thing, they did lay people off. But Scott, I'll give you a simple example. If Fanatics lays a bunch of people off right now, but those people are sitting in kind of the art department, what does that have to do with the production of Flagship? Not necessarily anything. It might not have anything to do with it. Yeah. Or, Scott, what if Fanatics lays people off and they're laying people off at the lid store? Is that preventing you from getting Topps Chrome this year? But they laid them off. That's true, right? But it's part of the greater company. But what does that have to do with the people that are actually processing the stuff you're talking about? They're not the same people. they didn't specify which group of people, which department are they in. It's kind of important to the overall to this discussion, right? Because you can lay people off, and it's like, which department are they in? You can only have so many people rifling through boxes, pulling orders before it becomes prohibitive. And that's always been, they were always going to have a problem scaling, because their only solution is to throw more people at the problem. Well, yeah, that only works to a certain degree, and then it suddenly stalls, and then you're screwed. I just hope whatever happens to either COMC, it can be seen from space. Yes. That's all that matters, Scott. Was it the dregs from Sector 7G? Valid question.
Because I think it's a great idea, and I think it was at the beginning. Then it got so big.
Well, that's what I mean. So look, just jokes aside,
yeah.
I talked about this. I did have a conversation with someone from COMC. The point of the conversation was that we were speaking candidly, Scott. So I'm not going to talk about something out of turn that I can't talk about. All I'll say is this: I'm not terribly worried about it. But that said, this what Lapper's alluding to here. The business model is the worst business model if you're trying to scale. If you've got a little bit of orders, it's fine. But as you start growing a number of orders, Scott, I can't just throw more people into a warehouse, stuffing into even if you got a ton of space initially, the more people I put in the warehouse, the more people are going to bump into each other. It's actually a terrible business model if you're, okay, now we got to send more packages. Oh, we got 10 times as many packages. I can't just hire 10 times as many people. That's not going to work. I have to find ways to streamline certain things, and I don't think they've ever figured it out.
24/7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Scott. Like, that's basically what you have to do. And it's like, so are you going to do that? You're going to run 24 hours worth of shifts, 3 shifts going boom, 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 and it just never stops?
Yeah.
Because you got to find a way to add more man hours in order to make the stuff go out the door.
Yep.
There's only so many ways you can do it before you run into a wall. So that's tough.
Interesting, because I'm curious, not that I want to know to like blast them. I'm just curious on how it works.
Yep.
Interesting.
Zach says, not to mention all the cards are sitting there. Like, I like seeing that I had cards that are not for sale for years. How many millions of cards? So that's a thing. So talking about the e-pack we were talking about earlier. So imagine every single time the new set comes out and more stuff gets sent from e-pack, whether people redeem it or not, Scott, the redemptions, the different, like, you know, when you do the, when you combine the cards, all those cards have to exist in the COMC warehouse. So however many you've got to have. So Scott, even if no one ever redeems them, they're sitting in the warehouse, taking up space along with everything else.
Yeah. That I get. That's why it's just amazing that that's why I like to just know how it works. I would love to see how I have an idea of how it works, but I like to actually see it.
The COMC owner said they are strategically slow to intake during some interview I saw. Wouldn't surprise me. Unfortunately, in this case, what we're discussing, so that could be, but we're talking about the shipping department. So that one isn't the intake. It's the outbound. That's the one people are looking for. They also leased out space within the warehouse. I don't remember that one. But they did have a building you could see from space, Slapper. A building you could see from space. I remember the social media posts. They were glorious. I miss the days I could call COMC and ask someone about cards. Maybe we could get Scott out there. He can have a Pope mobile and go up and down the line and make sure people are staying in line. Crack the whip a little bit. That'd be fun.
Because they've also had people that live in different parts of the country that work for you. I don't understand that one either. I don't understand what's going on with that. But I don't know if that's
there's the warehouse folks, Scott, and then there's like processing, like different processing jobs. Those people don't need to be in the office. It just depends on what you're doing. Like, if you're handling the cards, then yeah, you need to be where the warehouse is. There's no other way. You have to be there. But for the other stuff, like people that are processing certain things, you need to have a computer.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I can't imagine to do the invoicing and stuff. I think you would have to be there. That's because you have to put it with the product.
Well, the customer service group doesn't have to be.
Yeah, the quality and all that. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, those folks, you can pretty much put them anywhere where you got access to a computer. I also think when Tim stopped doing interviews, so here we go. I do also think when Tim stopped doing interviews with Jeremy, it wasn't good for sentiment. He was pretty decent at calming and explaining operations, problem solution. Well, Tim Getch was out there. He did an interview with Card Collector 2 a couple of weeks before those back pages had his post. I think the timing was close. Like it was he had the interview and then almost immediately after that happened. But again, it's up to you to communicate out what's going on.
I'm sure y'all have already talked about this and everybody else, but the hypothetical of them just all of a sudden shutting down the door with millions of cards sitting there. What in the world would happen? Like they'd have to get those cards back to people, wouldn't they? I don't, unless there's some small print in your agreement that says, "Sorry about your luck."
I think we're going to find out how much room Eric has in his garage. Allegedly. I said allegedly.
Whatever.
I'm just saying, Scott, you've seen that Eric goes to the magical box that always happens to have cards in it.
Right.
If suddenly the magical box gets a lot bigger, ooh, look at this. And Scott's like, that's my card. Aha, I knew it. Yeah, credit is first. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think we have too much to concern ourselves with because eBay is already invested in them and they do a lot of listings with them. So it's one of those things. They've got every incentive to be like, if we need to do something, then all right, we want a piece. We'll help you, but we want to cut. Because then they kind of take it on as one of those. Right now, like I said,
I forgot eBay already put money in them, and that would be a.
That's what I'm saying. They have every incentive. They have their foot in the door right now. So it's one of those things where if an issue, Scott, if it becomes an issue of money, eBay has money.
Oh, yeah.
Money can solve a lot of problems. So it's one of those things, but it's one of those, it's the situation. Look, I will help you. Mr. eBay will come by and say, I will help you. But in return, my expectation is now this is now mine.
Yeah.
Or a chunk of it is mine. Because then you're incentivized, you're giving them the incentive to be like, all right, so in return for my help, I want X percentage of the business. And then it's up to Tim Getch to figure out what he wants to do in that regard. That's one way you could do it.
Well,
how's eBay going to fix the problems of picking order one card at a time? That'll be difficult. That's always been one of the hangups. It's a weird way of doing it.
eBay Army, I'm sure they probably. Man.
Well, you know what they need to get, Scott? They need to get some of Amazon's robots. Because think about this. Bezos has figured out how to do this because they have mega warehouses and they got a crap ton of stuff under that warehouse roof, and they can get that shit to me within a day, Scott.
Yeah, within the day, the same day.
Yeah, I've got Amazon Prime and I haven't paid shipping in Amazon in years. So Number one, they can do it, and number two, they can do it fast. So that one way or another, it finds its way to, even if they have to get a cannon, Scott, and fire it out of a cannon, they find a way to get it to your door somehow.
Well, like even I've worked my first manufacturing job in the warehouse. They had a computerized lift machine that went down the aisles.
Mm-hmm.
The person wrote it, but they just told them what they needed, and the thing just went to where it needed to go, pulled out what they needed, and they just verified it, brought it back. So I've seen it done, and that's what I'm thinking, but I don't know how like that small a product, like little cards taking up rows. I would love to see the guts of this place. That's all I would love to see. And how
that's where I'm thinking you would get one of the logistics people from Amazon to do it.
Yeah.
Because like if I go to Amazon right now, Scott, I could buy a really tiny widget. I can buy some really tiny widgets and knickknacks and things and have them included in my shipment, and they can get it to me.
Yeah.
So, and these are tiny items. Like these are going to be like in little bags and whatever. And like, if you look, they've got like the little label on it. Sometimes they got a barcode and whatever. So clearly they can get it from a gigantic warehouse, find this little widget, throw it into an envelope or a box or whatever it is, and get it to me. So it is but obviously Amazon's doing this at massive scale, like massive scale. But this technology, there's no way it's a human being individually picking these items. They got to be working with machines and with combination of things to find everything and then get it in the box. Because to get it into the box, one way or another. So that's your answer. Your answer is some kind of technology. I like Lapper's idea. And I already know exactly what I'm going to do. I am improving the quality of the coasters. And what's going to happen is that we're going to take this to the next level because I'm going to make the Tag Canada operations boutique, Scott. This is an original idea I had. I am taking them boutique. Super boutique.
I've seen online that it feels like I've seen more pushing since the potential buyout of Beckett from collectors. I've seen more of a push, it feels like, for Tag than CGC as a second. I've seen a lot of push for Tag online. It's kind of weird.
How many of them are sports cards and how many of them are Pokemon people?
I don't think Pokemon people even know Tag exists.
No, not true, Scott. Incorrect. That is
Really?
a factual non-truth. You know why? And I can prove it. I'll show you right now. I can prove it. Thank you for the segue. I'm gonna prove it to you right now. All right, here we go. Boom. Here are the December numbers from GemRaid. So I'm going to show you. Let me show you. Scott, we're going to do hashtag scholarship. Get ready for this. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. So PSA is up 11%. So now they're 1.83 million. Up 50% year over year, up 11% month over month. CGC, strong number here. 442,000, up 4%, up 99% year over year. That's strong. Very strong. Beckett still exists. Minus 3%, up 91% year over year, though. That's still pretty good. Like, year over year, that's still a good number. SGC up 17%. So they did bump up from the previous month. Down 68% year over year, though. They are down. Tag here. Now, this number looks good, Scott, but I'm going to show you why what you're saying is not true. Sounds good. Looks decent enough. Okay. Here's why I was asking that question. Here are the sports and miscellaneous sports cards. Tag 2,000. I just said 41,000. 39,000 is the Pokemans. TCG. Tag is almost entirely Pokemans. It's barely any sports cards at all.
Well, there. If you added all those up, isn't it more TCG getting graded every month now than sports cards?
There is, but I'm just saying. Tag right now, their demographic is 98% Pokemon and barely anything else.
Well, there you go.
Nobody. I don't care what they're saying, Scott. Yeah, I don't care what they're saying, Scott. Nobody is sending them sports cards. It's all Pikachus and Charizards. That's it.
It's Pokemon people that are posting this stuff, or people that work for Tag.
That I think is more in line with the what's going on with that. But I'm saying, like, look, I don't care what they're saying, Scott. My question is, how many of you are actually sending and paying for it? Because it sounds to me like it's the Pokemans. And by the way, out of the Pokemon, a good chunk of that is repackers. They're just sending in volume. So they're like sending a bunch of cards at a time to put in these repacks. It's like the collectors aren't sending much of anything. And the sports cards guys barely even know they exist. Those are the numbers. It's right there. 2,000 to 39,000 for the Pokemans. And that's tagged by. So the overall number looks good, but it's skewing super heavy Pokemon. It's not sports cards. So I'm like, okay, they're already very boutique. They don't even need my help, but they're already boutique as it is. Comsy ship slow now because I don't think they rush around pack orders like everyone thinks they should. Right now, like I said, one of the issues, if you think about it, is the business model. When the last time they had a big issue back in the COVID era, the eBay stuff has to get shipped out within a couple of days. What Scott's saying is true, because if they don't, they start getting hit with negatives. Because if they don't send out the eBay stuff, so as soon as you buy something from eBay, it automatically goes to the front of the line. It doesn't matter that you got a box that needs 200 cards pulled. Well, somebody just bought this card and it was bought on eBay. That has to ship first. Yeah. So the one card, they got to go run and pick that one card and throw it into an envelope or a box or whatever and get it out the door. Your box with the 200, we'll get back to it later. So it keeps getting pushed further and further back as these other ones get priority. So like I said, it's a model that it's so hard to keep that going. I feel like the Compsy warehouse looks like the end scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I like that. Yeah, we won't get there. We're not that much closer. Brad said, but they aren't unique. Tiny items. You are not buying a specific widget, just one of many. I agree with you. But the Amazon warehouse has 1 million of these tiny widgets. And I could literally just go onto the site and go like, give me this tiny widget, this tiny widget, this tiny widget, this tiny, and they would still be able to get in the box for me real fast and get it to my door real quick. So the point is they have technology to speed this up,
And it's
because otherwise you're not going to find it.
it's all different types of products too. Anything from food items to household to clothing, anything. And it's
So
all wonderful.
they figured out how to do this in a way that they can do it fast and they can do it in volume, because they're sending tractor trailers out the door of product getting shipped everywhere in creation.
There's electric vans riding all over my neighborhood every day.
Yeah.
And,
Labra says sounds bougie. We're trying. We're inspired. We're inspired by Eric's word. Hodge says, love tag. Why? No, I'm asking why. I would buy more modern sports cars in their holders if I could. They are hard to find. They're hard to find because most people aren't sending them in.
Plus, they're hard to find, so that means they're not used. The hard to find stuff. The number's not very high.
Yeah. Well, look, I can make fun of tag all day, but just keep it short. They don't grade vintage because they can't do it. I've literally shared with folks. By the way, the Pokemon people are the ones that are actually sending them the volume, so they're going to have more videos about it, because most of us don't actually want to send any sports cards to tag. I don't care. By the way, I have not been proven or have not been convinced they even know what they're doing in the stuff they are grading.
Right.
Because they've literally, again, we talk about consistency, and people kept beating up on tag has literally proven they're inconsistent. We have documented cases of them completely screwing up easy to see defects and giving them tag 10s. That's not an allegation. That's not a suggestion. I'm going to connect to this video again. A video that has 150,000 views, Scott. Scott, how many sports card videos do you see with 150,000 views? 150,000. A card went from a PSA 6 to a tag 10. And then they resend it, cracked it, and sent it back in. By the way, you're not supposed to be able to send the card back in because the robots are going to see it. Nope. It got regraded again as a tag 5. How's that consistent? That sounds just like everything else. Like you didn't fix anything. I don't know if you can authenticate because you've never proven you can. So how many fake cards are sitting in that slab? How many damaged cards are sitting in that slab? You're not that good at it. Sorry. Maybe you kind of suck. For all the promotion and people like the holder. You like the holder? That's great. You haven't proved to me you don't suck.
You got a nice holder, but that's about it. I mean, if you don't trust what's in it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Carlos, did you talk about, hang on. Did you talk about the 1-1 box in the UK thing? Not sure what you're referring to, Bob. You have to fill me in on that one. I don't know. If ComC fails in bankruptcy, what happens to all the cards? Scott already asked that question. And like I said, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I don't think it, but it's food for thought. It would definitely overnight change things in our hobby.
Yeah. Well, tag Big Bot. It depends on how much money Scott's sitting in the couch cushions.
I think, and if somebody buys them, it's not going to be. I seriously, I think we talked about this before. That people that made tag wanted a quick sale to one of the bigger companies.
Yeah. For
their stuff, not for what not tag itself, but for their idea. And it didn't work, so nobody bought into it. Another PSA says they already have something like that, so what's the use, right? So
yeah, nobody actually, like, if they had wanted it, like, somebody would have offered for it. But again, out of all the generic miscellaneous graders, like, again, you've proven nothing.
Right.
And in sports cards right now, I just showed you the breakdown. The Pokemon one is the majority of it, and it's a bunch of repackers, and the sports card one barely exists. So 2,000 a month, Scott? KSA does more than 2,000 a month. So in the sports card realm, KSA is dwarfing you. And nobody cares about KSA. And they're doing way more than you.
I actually have a KSA grading card.
Yeah. So there you go. I looked at grade scans of the card and saw things marked that were not on the card, and other scans of the same card. Yeah. Like, look, I've looked at that dig report. I've joked, Scott, I'm in this weird spot. I've been making fun of tag for so long that a lot of the folks are like, oh, you're just a hater. It's like, dude, but I can literally I'm going to point you to other people who've talked about this and looked at it. Then don't believe me. But I am telling you, they have proven nothing. and they continue to prove nothing. And they talk a lot. They're like a player that literally will trash talk, and then go in the game and miss every basket. Dude, you suck. You talk a lot of trash, but you suck. You got to back it up. You got to have some skills to back it up. Show me that you got some skills, and then we can talk about it.
Got Cap Anson in the house.
That's right. We'll get there in a second. Hang on. Just the why for me is I love their clear holders and labels attached. That part's fine, but you're paying a lot for a fancy holder then. Like you can get a nice holder cheaper than that.
Yeah, and their whole way of doing things is nice. But there's another new company out that people are using too that's kind of similar to them.
Yeah, there's going to be other folks in the space, but everybody makes the same claim. We're the most accurate. We're the most consistent. Everybody says that, but prove it. My thing is prove it.
And it doesn't matter until you could sell on the secondary market. That's the only way you could do anything. If you don't sell on the secondary market, nobody cares at the end of the day.
Correct. That is right. And then the last part, I can scan the label and see the depth details of why I graded the date. So that's the dig report. And the thing is, I've gone through the dig report, and back in the day. So Brandon Bobbles Ballcards, he interviewed Old Man Tag.
Yes, he did
on his channel. Yeah. You know what, Scott? I'm gonna go find the damn thing. I'll include it in the description for folks that watch this. I'll include it. You got to watch it. It's hilarious. It's incredible. We had a card that one of our buddies bought. We gave them the serial number. We gave them the code. This is the tag, guys. We gave it to them and said, remember, of why I got the grade it did. Exactly what Hodges is saying here. We said, okay, here is the number. You can pull up the dig report. And Brandon asked him to do this. He did it on the live with Old Man Tag and his guys all around him. They're all there. They work there. This is their company. This is their baby. We asked them, can you pull this up on the dig report with all the scans and everything, right? And say, okay, can you tell us why I got the grade it did? Because I think it was a tag 5, that card. It had some flaws on it and blah, blah, blah. So our buddy had a chance to look at the card in person and look at it and whatever. But now you got the dig report. Remember, dig report is supposed to give you this information. So now we can look at it and figure out why they got the grade it did. So we said, okay, can you tell us why I got the grade it did? And they said, we'd have to look at the card. So then what's the point of the report, Scott? If you need to physically see the card after you have the report, your information, your scans, your everything, and you, the guys who work there, can't tell me why I got the grade it did, then what good are you? I got nothing. Like, I can't make this up. They literally looked at us and said, oh, we'd have to see the card in person. Then what is the point of your stupid report? Never mind.
If it's a card I really want and it's out there at the right price at a tag, I will buy it. I just won't novel system.
Yeah, I've joked about it. It's like I will literally pay you raw price. Right. I will pay it to you like you didn't put in a holder at all because I do not value what they bring to the table at all. Never have said the tag. You're better off lighting your money on fire. Run across any tag slaps. Feel free them from a prison immediately. It's coming in hot. JMA's good in tag. KSA's good in tag. There you go. Okay, so London Card Show 1 of 1. There are a few articles about it. I guess I'll have to look into it. I don't know. I'll have to see. I haven't heard about it, but I guess I'll look into it. So thank you, Bob. I'll try to figure it out. 2 KSA slabs, no tag. That's fair. Why can't Fanatics start a creative company? They can. They just haven't bothered to do it.
I think they tried to buy other companies to get a jump start.
Yeah. There were still options. Like Beckett was available, obviously. Right. So if they really, but here's the thing, Fanatics, you want to talk about PSA getting the collectors, getting the, again, the question, again, I don't think the congressman's letter is going to do shit, but if you think that people are looking at them sideways for that, Fanatics, the manufacturer, also having a grader, people will look at them sideways in 3 different ways because they'll have the marketplace, they'll be the manufacturer, and then they would also have the printer, they have the printer, and having a grading company.
Yeah, let me sell you a card and get it graded for you, and then sell it to you. Yeah, sell it to you, sell it for you, whatever. We're gonna double dip and triple dip, quadruple dip on the same card.
Yep. Zach says, wasn't HGA the one that claims they perfected the technology grading cards in the future? Yes, we're still waiting for HGA. Hope springs eternal. I still have my HGA slab. Neo kind of likes them. Let's see here. I made an AI grading app in 3 minutes and has been working on the video for 2 days. A few more days, we'll find out. There you go. It's probably their standard response for anyone questioning why a card got the grade it did. The problem is their advertising is that the dig report is supposed to tell you why the grade it did. So if that is your standard response, you're saying we can't do our job. That's not a good standard response. You should rethink it then. That's actually a really bad one. Okay. The London Card Show is the alleged Fanatics employee knew what box had hidden. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. I did hear about it. I hadn't looked into it too much. That doesn't surprise me though. And that's not even from the tin.
Kind of found out from some of the breakers that we were thinking the same thing, the Fanatic breakers. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But look, so I gave an example, just to be clear on this. There's two different types of rigged boxes that people accuse people of. There is the one where somebody pulls an improbable hit, but they open a bunch of boxes. But my question is always, okay, so where did you get the boxes from? Because if you bought them from a distributor or whatever, yeah, it's possible, but now you're going to have to work really hard. There's a different type though. If you've got something where Michael Rubin is hanging around and they're opening boxes or packs with a celebrity, and the celebrity happens to pull an amazing box while Michael Rubin's right there in the screenshot, you know, hanging out with them and whatever, and they happen to pull an amazing thing, then Scott, listen, I'll go do the run for the tinfoil. We'll do it. It's no problem.
Right.
It's all good. But so when a Fanatics employee is hanging around the situation, then yes, Scott, the chances of it being hashtag rigged are way higher, infinitely higher. But if some random breaker on a random Tuesday of release day or whatever, or Thursday, opens it because they got the boxes from a distributor, maybe, maybe not, but it's a little bit tougher now. Because now it's like, okay, who did you get it from? Did you get it directly from Fanatics? If the answer is yes, okay. But if you got it from literally a distributor, because we got folks around here that do breaks, they get it from a distributor. Could I send them loaded boxes, Scott? Sure. But now I have to not only have you in on it, I got to then do it through a third party. Why didn't I just send you the boxes directly? I'm making it harder, and I'm giving more people that are going to talk. So something like this with a Fanatics employee, yeah, sure, I could see that. Again, Fanatics employee is involved. I'm shocked the tag wasn't on the Jeff Wilson Castro interview. He only did an interview on Bobbles' channel. Back then, he was the only one who was asking. Nobody else was asking. Old man tag likes beards. Big gray ones, maybe. Maybe it was the appeal. I don't break or anything, but for that portion of the hobby, should be more concerned about CTs. Well, that's the other piece, actually. Thank you, Trees and Cardboard. That's the other thing, Scott. What if I'm a big breaker and I have a bunch of cases and it's not the Fanatics gave me the inside track, but I scanned them. I know which one has the good stuff. So for my VIP, I open a box and you get the good stuff and everybody else gets the other boxes. I got the boxes from a legitimate source, but I still had the inside track on which one had the big hit, the real good hit, the good hit. It's another way I can do it. Result is the same, but it's another way of doing it. The CT scanning, a lot of people forgot about those ones. It is an option for like a flawless case. You get a case of flawless. There's a bunch of hits in every box, but this one has like the amazing hit. This one's got a really great hit. I got 6 boxes. So now you got 5 that have okay hits. They're fine. And then I got one with a really good one. Scott, you're my mega whale. You got all your Pokemon monies. Hey, Scott's box. We opened it up. Oh my God, we pulled the really crazy hit. What a coincidence that you get the good one. The other 5 boxes are legit, but we knew that they weren't as good. So everybody else gets the other 5 boxes and whatever's left over. Yeah. I just says they want you to send it to them. They know just like everybody else that no process is perfect. There could have been an issue with the scan grade that was generated. No, there was no issue. They had no idea why I got the grade it did. This is a very generous reading by you, and I understand what you're saying with it. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Literally have no earthly clue. It's not and any issue with the scan grade that was generated was their issue. They screwed it up. It's their scans. It's their grading. If they can't stand behind it and they can't look at the thing, again, the marketing copy was, this report will tell you why it got the grade. But Scott, that was the whole point. The whole point of the dig report is this report is going to tell us, based on looking at the report, I should be able, Scott, if I'm buying from eBay and I scan it, I don't have the card in hand. I have to look at the report. The report's the only thing I got.
That was supposed to be the difference between them and everybody else.
Exactly.
That's what they wanted to sell to the other companies, and if you can't do that, then
then you are no better than anybody else. You have literally brought nothing new to the table.
It's full circle. We started with something else that everybody was one thing. Now it's become something else, as in the Strongsville Card Show. Now we're coming to this thing. They told us it was something, but it's something else because it's not what they said it was. So, you market it as one thing. So I remember when all this was going through, when Bobbles kind of blew that wide open, and that wasn't the only thing that the guy was dumbfounded on. He couldn't explain how he was doing 1,000 cards a week with only one box on the shelf.
Well, that was the other one that was funny. He claimed to have tens of thousands of cards that people were going to grade. It never happened. It has never happened.
Right. So,
For every old man tag, there's a Carlos. Every hero must have a villain. I'll wear my villain hat proudly. It'll be fine. Yeah. They can't guarantee the speck of dust or one of the lenses got smudged or something. Who knows? No process is perfect. We live in an imperfect world. So then I have no reason to give them a dime. I have no reason to send them a single card because they promised me perfection, Scott. We can't give them that out. They said they were better than the alternative. Well, by this logic, PSA is imperfect. We're in an imperfect world. So then, Scott, I could send it to a company where I've got more resale value and they're imperfect, or I can send it to the other one that's imperfect and my cards will be worth nothing.
That was what I said a few minutes ago. None of them are perfect. We know
Correct.
all of them have their issues. It only matters what sells on the secondary market. So even
then the only thing I've got left is the holder is fancy.
Right. PSA is the least attractive holder out there, but that's the one everyone wants to buy. So if I'm selling, why am I going to use tag? That's just a waste of money.
Right.
I like CGC better, but I know sending it to CGC, there's no reason because I got to send to PSA if I want to resell.
Right. Yep. Better doesn't mean perfect. They haven't proven they're better either. There isn't one thing they've proven they're better at. As it stands right now, my evidence that I have, and we've been years now, it's years have gone by. So far, all they've proven is they're worse at every single thing. The only thing they've got is a nice looking holder. That's it. But they haven't proven they're good at anything. Again, 2,000 cards a month for sports cards. No one seems to care. People are not interested. And they're not cheaper. They're not faster. They're faster than PSA, but again, PSA grades way more cards than they do. So they should be faster because they're not getting that much business. Scott, if you don't got that much to do, you better be quick. That better be one thing, at least.
Well, yeah. Brian, you're right, but it's just hard to. They don't sell themselves anymore. I don't even know how they're still around.
Well, it's the Pokemon cards, Scott. When you're getting almost 40,000 Pokemon cards, that's keeping you going.
I'm sure they probably only got like 6 people on their staff, so that's probably it.
Yep. And by their own admission, their process, they have every single one of the grades, a person is verifying the grade at the end. So if the people are getting it wrong, we're still letting the people check it in the end to make sure. And they're still getting it wrong, by the way, even with that. So the computer got it wrong and the person got it wrong. You ever see dealer attending a tax live? You won't. Don't feel bad offering 50% sticker. Seems generous. If you doubt using scans to grade and your scanner is dirty, that's inexcusable. That's true. Could have been all solved if we just had one of these, Scott. We could fix tag if he just got a pile of these.
The guy went to use Cheetos to adjust it before he did.
So good. Yeah, I found it. I'm going to. Oh man, it's almost 1,000 views. It was 3 years ago. Damn, it's a long time ago. That's crazy. So so here it is. I'll share a link in the description to this. I'll save it here just so I have it. But here it is. But this was back in the day, a golden era, Scott. Here it is. His Bobbles and Ballcards.
That young guy on the left there.
Yes, glorious. So I'll include that link in the description.
That
It was
looks
classic.
like brothers.
Incredible. Sensational. Sensational. All right. I think that's good. Scott, thank you for joining me on a bonus Friday live to give the people the second live this week.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So last comments, folks. Thank you, Ed. Thank you for joining in. Appreciate you. But yeah, so regardless, y'all do you. Do whatever you want. All of that stuff. It's your money. Do it. Scott, yeah. I will tease these guys until I'm blue in the face because again, I have fun with it. But to be clear, I'm not the first one who's going to bring them up. But if somebody's going to bring it up, it's like, look, I'm going to challenge you because I have plenty of examples of you don't have a clue what you're doing. But have fun. Remember to hit the like button so that Eric pays for it. if you haven't already, there's still a little time left. So we were having a charity drive with Eric earlier. We're over $1,200 that we raised for this charity. So thank you all for participating. Appreciate it. Davis High School Rules and the fun live stream. Thank you, Mark. Have a good evening. Thank you. Have a good one. Hockey. Great job, Scott. Thank you, Hockey. Spend the time. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate you. Have a good night, Bob Boozle. Have a good night, Bob Jackson. Everybody else. Again, the fundraiser there, the button, will still be good for about another 24 hours. So if you check this out on replay and you would like to donate towards it, again, feel free to check out the link to it. Take a look at it yourself. You'll see if there's anything there worthwhile to you. And if you want to check out the New Year's Eve episode, you can watch Eric suffer for about 2 hours on a bicycle. It was very entertaining for us all. But it was for a good cause. It was for a good cause. Thank you, Laura. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have yourself a good one. Back next week. So this, Scott, we didn't even go into the Saturday. We stopped short of the Saturday. So there you go. We'll be back next week. Next week will be a more normal. We'll get all the cast of characters. Everybody will be back. But we still had a lot of fun. So thank you, everybody that participated. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Catch you in the next one.